This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show podcast. Barstool Talk Daily. Except it's really early in the morning and no booze. For the most part.
Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
It's Friday. Oh, I've been working through the week and frosted beer is what I seek. And when I see it's 5 o'clock, that's when my office will get locked. And so I will run out the door because I cannot take anymore. I'm sick of working, I confess. So alcohol I will request it. Happy hour, I'll be grinning. The weekend is beginning. All my troubles will get wiped out on Friday.
It's Friday, player. Get it on. That's right. Get down with it.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Buzz is back.
It's about time.
Only on KLAQ.
Thank you and good morning. Welcome everyone to our show for this Friday morning, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. We got a loaded show today.
Woo!
Comedian and former El Paso resident for about a year, Greg Wilson, is at the El Paso comic strip this weekend. He's going to be coming by. His Geico ad, where it's him and his son in a parking garage or something, and he's jumping off the parking garage, and he's jumping through the window and sliding under a car. Did I tell you, Greg texted me to let me know, hey, I'm going to be in town this week. Have you seen my Geico ad? And I texted back, only every single time I turn on the TV.
That's about it.
So Greg Wilson is going to be here later
right.
today. Also from Kid and Play, a legit hip-hop phenomenon of the 1980s, Kid, Christopher Kid Reid is going to be here. He is doing a benefit show for the El Paso Municipal Police Officers Association, raising money for scholarships. You can see Christopher Kid Reid along with George Jimenez and Jibbs, the Comagician. This Saturday, they're going to have two shows, 7:30 and 9:30. It's going to be at the Municipal Officers Association Hall, which is on Rutherglen, 3601 Rutherglen. Showtime 7:30 and 9:30. Come out for a night of comedy. I've known George a long time. I've known Jibbs not as long, but I know him very well. And, of course, Kid Reid. We go back a long way as well. So that's coming up on the show a little bit later today. Good morning, Joanna Barba.
Good morning.
You ready for the weekend, Joanna?
Oh, hell yeah.
You got any solid plans?
No, not really, but it's tax-free weekend, so.
Yeah, right. You might have to get to the store even if you don't have kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a few calls for people. It's like, why do they have the back-to-school expo after my kids already went back to school?
Right.
Well, they have one Texas tax-free weekend, and different school districts go back at different times. I don't know if we're like in the majority or the minority with this year-round school schedule that they got. But I guess some El Paso kids. Okay, EPISD, my kid went back
this
Monday.
past Monday, I think. Yeah.
But I guess there's some schools, maybe it's Letta, maybe Socorro, somewhere around here that they went to school 2 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah.
So, thank you for bringing that up. The tax-free weekend. Pro tip, you can buy clothes for yourself, and they're still going to give you the tax-free break.
Now's a good time to get new shoes.
The back-to-school expo is tomorrow at Silla Vista Mall. In addition to the tax-free weekend, all the mall merchants contribute, make good deals, save you as much money as possible. We're going to have back-to-school fashion shows, thanks to Laura's production on the main stage. The main stage, sponsored by YMCA. GECU is sponsoring the Mascot Challenge. If you've got a high school or any school mascot and you want to get in on the fun with the Mascot Challenge, it's not too late to do that. Also, we've got scholarships to give away. You could earn $500 or win $500. We have 4 of them to give away. I say we. El Paso Electric is ponying up the cash for that. El Paso Electric wants to help students power up their education. While you're there, you can register for a chance to win one of 4 $500 scholarships from El Paso Electric. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
You're welcome.
Let's get a look at, and it goes from, when does it start today? All day?
It's all day today, yeah.
Yeah, right, and it goes through Sunday.
Yep.
Okay. El Paso weather. Let's get a look at the golfers' forecast for the weekend. It's brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. Today, actually, all weekend, it's going to be 100 or very close, maybe a degree or two above, maybe a degree or two below, but around 100 degrees every day. Mostly sunny today. Not seeing any rain in the forecast. We're clear all weekend, in fact, so you don't have to worry about rain interfering with your plans. Sunny Saturday and Sunday. Again, those highs right around 100 degrees. It's, today's a fine golf day. I'm going to give it a B plus just because we have maybe 15-mile-an-hour winds. Then Saturday and Sunday, I'm giving those A plus because the wind is perfectly still, especially for golf. That's a thing you look forward to. I don't know if it applies to other sports. Are there any other sports where it's like, we can't play today, it's too freaking windy?
It's too windy.
Tennis, maybe?
Perhaps, yeah.
Oh, you know what?
What's
Badminton.
Badminton?
Yeah. Did you know it's
What
not
the hell is-
badminton? It's badminton.
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 What is badminton?
You got like these little lightweight tennis rackets, and
That
it's
little thing that looks, what do they call it, a birdie?
a birdie or a shuttlecock.
Shuttlecock.
So you've either got your bird or your cock, one or the other there. But, you've never played it in the backyard and you swat the thing and it...
I think once I had like a set, somebody gifted us a set like that. And
Did
we
you
were
ever
like,
get
what
it
the
out?
hell is this? But we were just like throwing that shuttlecock around.
You were just throwing it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
It's a big sport in some countries. Like there's, I don't know which one, but there's one country where badminton is like their official national sport.
Oh, cool.
El Paso weather, the golfers forecast brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. You can set up all your tee times and reservations online at painteddunes.com. That's painteddunes.com or call the pro shop at 821-2122. Well, it is 6:13 in the morning.
Good morning.
No sign of Nico. So can I...
Have I gotten an email that says, hey, guys?
check that because if not, I'm going to play this.
No.
You're late to work. Who gives a f? You boss, I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. What you gonna be doing about it? I said I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. You gonna fire me? There's no one else here, bitch. Late.
Joanna's going to have the Hollywood Cheesemake coming up in just about an hour. Joanna, what do you have coming up in our entertainment report today?
How much do you love Lord of the Rings?
The book, the movies,
The
TV
movies.
series. Yeah, I thought they were, you know what? I thought they were really impressive that they were able to bring such an epic to the big screen. They've never been able to do it without CGI, you know?
I remember lots of walking. Well, anyway, Kate
There's a good deal
Blanchett.
of walking, yeah.
Kate Blanchett, it comes out and it says that she practically didn't get paid anything for Lord of the Rings.
Really?
And says she basically got free sandwiches on set. I'll let you know more of what she said.
All right. We've got a lot coming up on the show today. We'll get into today in sound clips yesterday. Former President Donald Trump held a press conference at Mar-a-Lago for an hour and a half, and it was something. Let me tell you.
What is his obsession with crowd size?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I gotta find
Like
find
more
that audio
than-
because he went on a tirade about the size of his crowd versus the size of Kamala Harris's crowd.
Or Martin Luther King Jr.'s crowd.
Did he bring that up?
Yes.
He likes to name
It's
drop
so
Martin Luther
weird.
King Jr. as if he had been, back in those days, Donald Trump today would have hated Martin Luther King Jr. It's like he I think he gave some kind of special award to Muhammad Ali before he
okay.
passed away. I'm like, this was before my time, but I remember hearing about it. Muhammad Ali said he wouldn't go to Vietnam. And if you thought people got upset, especially white people in this country, when Colin Kaepernick took a knee during the national anthem. Multiply that by 1 million. That's how pissed off people were that Muhammad Ali, the heavyweight champion of the world, wouldn't go to Vietnam. And, Donald Trump wouldn't go to Vietnam either. But you know what I mean? Like, he heaps derision on Colin Kaepernick, but he gives some kind of presidential medal to Muhammad Ali. It doesn't add up for me. Yeah, but you know what Freud said? If you're obsessed with the size of anything... It's probably a penis deal.
Yes, I would have to agree.
Let's get to the commercials here in a second, and we're going to have today's sound clips on the way here in just a few.
The Daily Calendar.
Okay, today is August 9th. It is the peak day of the Perseid meteor shower.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you'll see a meteor
Yeah.
or a UFO. It's a grab bag, really. What was that? It's Co-workers Day, so be nice to Shannon. And it's Rice Pudding Day.
Maybe give some of yours to Shannon.
Plus, it is the start of Elvis Week, the king of rock and roll. Shannon really likes him.
And that's your Daily Calendar.
Hey, it's Chuck, and tonight on Loud. Share the road safely. Paid for by FMCSA.
El Paso's own live and local. The Buzz Adams Morning Show. 95.5 KLAQ.
Joanna, didn't I get Nico a really good alarm clock for Christmas?
I thought you did, yeah.
Right, because whatever he was using, like, frequently...
Unreliable.
I don't know. I've never had an alarm clock that just fails to go off if it's set, you know?
Especially if it's on your phone, that already is just programmed.
Yeah.
You have to literally go into your phone and say, do not play this alarm. Otherwise, even when you're on vacation, that will go off.
So either he is not using the alarm clock I got him, or he is, and somehow he's just got the worst luck with alarm clocks. Anyway.
He probably just has the worst luck.
Nico will be along. We've got Greg Wilson. Comedian Greg Wilson's at the El Paso Comic Strip this weekend.
The Greg Wilson.
Formerly known as the Greg Wilson. Now known as the star of that Geico ad that you see on TV all the time. And Chris Kid Reid from Kid and Play is also coming by later. Hey, let's not forget this. We are going to have a very, very busy show with guests in and out and in and out. But we cannot forget to preview the Ghost Song of the Day for you. We'll do that once in the 7 o'clock hour and once in the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to tell you what hour the Ghost Song of the Day is going to be played. We're going to tell you what song it is. Joanna's going to play you a little bit of what it sounds like.
Oh, yes.
That way, then when you hear that song, be caller 13 at 915-910-4995. That's 910-4995, our KLAQ studio line. If you're the 13th caller, you win a copy of the new Ghost movie soundtrack right here, right now. And you're qualified for our grand prize at the end of the month. All of our daily winners are going to go in, so you got a 1 in 22 chance of winning an autographed guitar by Tobias Forge of Ghost. It's a Phantoman by Hagstrom. It comes with the Hag case, and it is over $2,000 value just for the guitar in the case. That's before you add in the autograph from Tobias Forge, of Ghost. So we're going to let you know what the song of the day is, what hour it's going to be played in. And in the middle of all that, we just got a ton of guests and segments coming up for you today.
And now, today in Sound Clips.
All of the day's news with accompanying sound bites and actualities. Let's start with this news story. Houston area middle school teacher David Garza is being called a hero. He heard a female voice crying for help outside his apartment. He saw a man beating up this girl who was yelling, "I'm 15, I'm 15.
Oh, my God.
School teacher David Garza, first of all, they leave this out of the story. I think it's an important part. He ran outside so fast, he was naked. I mean, they've got that part blurred out. I don't know if he was wearing... He comes out naked with his gun and scares the attacker away, allowing the teenage girl to escape unharmed. Here's David Garza, a middle school teacher in San Antonio, talking about the incident.
I ran upstairs, I grabbed my pistol, and then I came outside and I asked what's going on. And the girl screamed, "I'm 15, help me."
Oh my God.
So I pointed my gun at him.
Do you see Mr. Garza there?
Yeah, everything's blurred out.
Right.
Everything is also just one color.
I don't know if he's 100% naked or not because they got that part blurred out, but he got out there without putting any clothes on. So he is being called a hero for frightening this assailant away. We've got some international news. U.S., Egypt, and Qatar have all called for urgent talks for the Israel-Hamas ceasefire. I thought we were on the verge of Iran bombing and Hezbollah bombing Israel. I mean, that would kind of think up any kind of ceasefire they had if that happens.
All right.
Well, here's State Department spokesman Matthew Miller said that it's in everyone's best interest to call a ceasefire in Israel and Gaza.
We believe that a ceasefire would go a long way towards alleviating tensions in the region. It would obviously have immediate benefits for the Palestinian people in Gaza. It would have immediate benefits for the hostages and their families.
A little more from Matt Miller, spokesman for the State Department. He said the U.S. has told Iran to avoid escalating the situation in the Middle East. Going back to that, what I was saying, we're waiting to see how Iran is going to respond to the latest.
It's been the focus of our diplomatic engagements is we continue to make clear to Iran that they should not escalate this conflict. They should not take any further escalatory steps if those steps are not in their interests. They're not in the interests of the wider region.
An Atlanta club got the owners of it got evicted from the club. Okay. And they were clearing out because they got evicted. Well, they had all of their stuff sitting outside to be hauled away, including hundreds of bottles of liquor that was out on the in the parking lot. Well, people helped themselves to all the bottles of liquor.
They're like, don't mind if we do.
So the club got evicted. People showed up and stole all the booze that was in the parking lot. They describe it as a mob of people showed up after the owners were evicted. Here's a woman who was on the scene when the chaos began.
They had their stuff set out. A lot of people just kind of ambushed it, took what they could grab. The owner got mad. A fight broke out. Guns were drawn. Police were called.
Peacock is going to air a documentary on the life of Gary Coleman.
Oh.
When I say Gary Coleman, you know who that is, right?
Different shows.
Yeah. Did they show that on...
What you talking about, Willis? Yeah, they did.
They showed it on Nick at Night?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a clip from the upcoming documentary, Gary, that's going to be on Peacock.
His life is a cautionary tale.
A big man in this little kid's body.
The greatest child actor of all time.
Certain performers that change our lives. He was one of them.
A press conference was held yesterday at Mar-a-Lago. Former President Donald Trump took about an hour and a half of questions, half of which he called stupid questions. During a press conference yesterday, former President Donald Trump said that he thinks the U.S. is headed towards some terrible, terrible things.
We have a lot of bad things coming up. You could end up in a depression of the 1929 variety, which would be a devastating thing. Took many years, took decades to recover from it. And we're very close to that. And we're very close to a world war. In my opinion, we're very close to a world war.
Fear tactics much?
Oh, my God.
Trump also told reporters the world, this dystopian nightmare that we all live in right now in the United States. He says things would be very different if he didn't say if he'd won because he still claims that he won, but if he had returned to the White House in 2020.
But Russia would not have attacked Ukraine. October 7th in Israel would have never happened. You wouldn't have inflation. A lot of great things would have happened. But now you have millions and millions of dead people. And you have people dying financially because they can't buy bacon, they can't buy food, they can't buy groceries, they can't do anything.
I bought bacon. I went to the grocery store.
Bacon?
I bought bacon over the weekend.
I mean, bacon's there for sure.
Right. Trump also announced that he's challenged Vice President Kamala Harris to 3 debates. They were trying to pin down whether Trump was going to do one debate that was already scheduled. Trump says that he wants to do 3.
So I just look forward to these debates. I think it's very important that we have them. I hope she agrees to them September 4th, September 10th, September 25th. And I think they'll be very revealing.
During the press conference, Donald Trump was asked if he worries about the size of Kamala Harris's crowds, and it just set him off. I mean, he loves talking about the size of his crowds. So here's some of that.
All about the size of Harris's crowds.
Oh, give me a break. Listen, I had 107,000 people in New Jersey. You didn't report it. I'm so glad you asked. What did she have yesterday? 2,000 people? If I ever had 2,000 people, you'd say my campaign is finished. It's so dishonest, the press. And here's a great example. I had in Michigan recently 25,000 people, and 25,000 people we just couldn't get them in. We had in Harrisburg 25,000 people, and 20,000 people couldn't get in. We had so many. Nobody ever mentions that.
Why do you think that is the thing that he obsesses over? How many people show up at his events? How many people showed up at his inauguration?
It's
how many
weird,
people,
right?
It is.
That has to be something that's brought up all the time.
I mean, we don't talk about it a lot, but it seems like he talks about it a lot.
Like he obsesses over it.
Yeah. Hey, there he is.
Hi.
Hey, you came in just in the nick of time. Now we're going to hear from Kamala Harris.
Okay, cool.
Didn't I get you an alarm clock for Christmas? Like, I got you like a super.
Oh, my God.
What happens?
Tell us, buddy.
What do you mean? It didn't go off today.
You know, I've had a dozen.
What are you talking about?
I've probably had 10 or a dozen alarm clocks in my life, including my phone, and that never happens to me.
Oh, cool.
It's bizarre. It's like I must have much better luck with alarm clocks than you do.
It's a conspiracy.
I don't know how you want me to make this funnier or not funnier, or what do you want me to do with this?
I want you to come in on time from now on.
Well, sorry.
Jesus.
Oh my God, he's just like the song.
You're late to work. Who gives a f?
Yeah, seriously.
Who gives a?
Yeah, seriously.
You boss, I'm late.
I get if you don't, I don't. I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. You doing all right?
Other than
you do look like you just rolled out of the
I'm
sack.
telling you that. What do you think happened?
I don't know.
I told you it didn't go off today, so I just rolled out right now.
I could go over later and maybe go through how to set the alarm so that it goes off for sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever it takes.
Are you using the one that I got you for Christmas?
Yeah.
You took it out of the box and everything.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, after challenging Vice President Kamala Harris to 3 debates, Harris said she is looking forward to debating Trump.
I've always been on record. I am looking forward to debating Donald Trump, and we have a date of September 10th. I hear he is finally committed to it.
Oh my God, Donald Trump.
We just talked about it.
I know. Well, you didn't watch or hear it.
I heard it on the radio. I was driving home as it was airing.
You know,
live.
I called you.
No.
God. Yeah. Well, does your phone work? See, there's this thing called a phone.
It works, but not if I.
Do you want me to come over? It doesn't work if it's on silent. Is that what you're about to say? Yeah, it doesn't really work if it's on silent.
Mm-hmm.
I called
No, I wasn't going to say on silent. My phone is not connected to me. I leave it in a room sometimes that I'm not in and don't pick it up for hours. I know that is hard for your generation to believe.
It's not hard.
It's not hard to believe that I just put my phone and check it after a few hours. I know that's not the way most people do it.
Anyways, I called you yesterday so that you could listen to this damn.
It was a blithering hour and a half.
No, it wasn't just that. Like, I called you specifically because I was listening to Donald Trump on the radio, and I was like, he sounds terrible. Like, if I was his aides, I would be like, why did you let him go out right now?
Well, ask yourself this question.
He was like stumbling, and then his responses were super long and drawn out sometimes, and it sounded like he sounded in cognitive decline. We were watching it slow motion.
Okay.
It made no sense to me. Like, all of his answers were crazy.
Why did he agree to go to that?
I don't know.
No, the conference with the black journalist last week. You remember? And it turned real belligerent immediately.
He says he did great out of that. He says he's saying right now that was a big win for him.
Yeah, I mean, among his fans that think that black people need to be put in their place, I'm sure that was a real winner with him.
Did you hear when they questioned him about what he said? And he says, I didn't say that.
About Harris
turning black? He says, well, what do you think about when you said she's turned black and this and that? And he's like, well, you're going to have to ask her. She said that. I didn't say that.
You know, it's like...
Wait. What's your comment when he goes, I didn't say that. She said that.
I didn't hear that. I need to know the context.
The context was they repeated his words to him. What do you say?
I didn't say that. That reminds me of the story about the woman who walks in on her husband in bed with another woman. And the husband says, honey, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Harris also spoke to an audience of union members yesterday and talked about collective bargaining and that symbolizes what her campaign is all about.
We're saying we just want fairness. We want dignity for all people. We want to recognize the right all people have to freedom and liberty to make choices, especially those that are about heart and home, and not have their government telling them what to do.
Well, we're in the home stretch of the Olympics.
Oh.
And Team USA ended day 13 still hanging on to the gold medal lead, but only by a thread. This is still very much up in the air. China is only behind one in the gold medal count. We have a sizable lead in the overall medal count. We've got 103. China's second with 73. But the gold medal count is just, the lead for the U.S. is just one. Is breakdancing a real sport in the Olympics? Because they don't have the first breakdancing event until today, and then the closing ceremony is tomorrow. Is it something they just kind of stuck in on the end?
Sounds like it. Are you asking a rhetorical question?
I mean, as much hype as there was, you would think they would do it, not like right before the final bell. For the Olympics. If you're wondering, Sunday, the closing ceremonies for the Olympics. As far as the most golds, that would not be the first time that the U.S. didn't win the most gold, but it's pretty rare. The U.S. usually wins the most gold medals at the summer game. In Beijing in 2008, we finished second to China. The worst we've ever done was third in gold medals at the 88 Olympics in Seoul and the 90s and the 76 games in Montreal. Olympic swimmers are dodging unidentified brown things in the river Seine.
Oh, I know what those brown things are.
That's according to Hungarian swimmer Bettina Fabian. It says that there are brown things that no one likes to think too much about what they might be.
They're duck and deuces.
Here's what Bettina said. It was really hard because we couldn't really focus on the race. We had to care about the water quality and what's going to happen afterwards. We had to focus on not swallowing water and being safe in the race. I saw some brown things. I hope it's not what I thought it was. It probably is. Some Olympians are actually drinking Coca-Cola after swimming in the Seine because it can supposedly ward off the E. coli and other bacteria.
Ward off? Like it's some type of witches, like
a magic amulet.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no evidence that that's
doesn't
true.
Say it
but
kills the
reportedly.
bacteria. It says it wards them off.
France, your summer games will forever be known as the one with all the poop. Now keep that in mind. I think they're compromising the athletes' safety in this dirty water.
Le poop.
Le poop.
I
love that brand of water. It's great.
So Noah Lyles of the U.S. won bronze yesterday in the 200-meter. This may not have been yesterday. This might have been Wednesday that he won. It was revealed that he had COVID. So he still got a bronze medal, even as he had COVID. As soon as the race was over, he was taken from the track in a wheelchair wearing a mask. Wait a minute. You're so worried about COVID, but you're having all these swimmers swim in your poopy river.
And they're like, that's fine.
Yeah. Poopy river, well, we can't do anything about that, but let's get this man who just won a bronze medal in a sprint. Let's get him in a wheelchair, for God's sake.
Le douce or le COVID? We can only do one.
Noah Lyles also has asthma. Can you imagine becoming one of the fastest, maybe the fastest man in the world with asthma?
I'm going to get that man an inhaler.
Are you an Olympian who isn't feeling too well after swimming in the Seine River in Paris?
Oh, you can say that again.
Then you need Olimpo-Bismol, the only over-the-counter stomach medicine that will help you deal with nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and vomiting caused by swimming in that disgusting river.
I am a very good swimmer. Some say the best. But I swam in that river and it was quite unpleasant. It smelled terrible, like dead people. I get out of water and boom, I start throwing up everywhere. Ew.
Oh.
Very bad. Luckily, there's Olimpo-Bismol. I drink a little and I get back in the river and oh no, just thinking about swimming in that filth is making me want to... Here comes the throwing up.
Oh no.
I need more Olimpo-Bismol right away.
You sure do. So if you're vomiting uncontrollably because you swam in that disgusting river in Paris, try new Olimpo-Bismol in stores now.
This is Dubba G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, El Paso's best phone
in Mexico, like in the country's One Network, only with AT&T. Visit att.com/One Network for details.
Oh, guess who this is?
Buzz Adams and the KLAQ Morning Show.
You must be the greatest radio show host ever.
Buzz is back.
Well, sad bit of news, especially if you're a golf fan, especially if you've been a golf fan for a long time. Legendary golfer Chichi Rodriguez passed away.
Oh, no.
Chichi was 88.
I loved his name.
Wait, have you heard the name Chichi Rodriguez before?
No, but Chi-Chi was one of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball Z.
Joanna, are you familiar with Mr. Rodriguez? He was one of the most exciting, electrifying players in golf because he would craft these shots that were just unbelievable.
I cannot say that I am familiar with that Chi-Chi.
Okay, well, let me tell you a couple of things about him.
Okay.
After he made a putt, he would take his putter and do like a sword, like he's dueling somebody. That was like his signature move on the green.
Oh, he was a fencer.
Well, he pretended he was sword fighting. I don't know if he had any formal training, but Chichi Rodriguez passed away. And here is a mention of him from WKRP. This is a show that I keep telling Nico you should watch, but it's not on streaming anywhere.
It's not on streaming anywhere.
Have you ever seen it, Joanna?
I've seen episodes, yeah.
WKRP in Cincinnati?
What, like they showed it to you in
they did, yeah.
Communications and stuff?
Yeah.
Take a look and tell me if this yeah, it does. I was going to say it probably looks nothing like our studio. It looks just like our studio.
That does look like our studio.
Maybe it's time we get an update. If our studio looks like the fake radio studio on a sitcom from the 70s or 80s, here we go. Here's Les Nespin with the news.
Turning to sports. Winner of this week's Gulf Coast Golf Classic was Chai Rodriguez. Chai finished with a 9 under par score.
Chichi Rodriguez.
Hopefully, Mr. Rodriguez will play up to par next practice.
I think it would be funny if you guys found it somewhere and watched it, because there are people in the station that I'm like, oh, that's our Herb Tarlick. That's our Mr. Carlson. That's our Venus Flytrap. So sad to hear about Chichi Rodriguez.
Shy Rodriguez, I guess.
How did he say it again? Rodriguez.
That's like when you ask your Siri, call somebody Rodriguez. Rodriguez.
Call Luis Aguilar. Calling Luis Aguilar. What's wrong with Siri?
Call
the Hispanic community is one of the fastest growing in the country, but we got a couple of calls that have come in.
Oh, great.
Wait, why? What do you think?
I can only imagine what people are calling about.
You have no idea.
That's why I said I can only imagine.
All right.
Good morning, Mosto. Hey, make no mistake about it. The only reason that Donald Trump had a press conference yesterday was so that way he can say that he has and Kamala hasn't. So I'm just saying, if you're paying attention to their talking points, they're saying, well, why hasn't she done it since she started running? And this is exactly why he had a press conference yesterday. Oh, which was loaded with a bunch of oldies but goodies. I mean, he's got to let some of that stuff go, guys. What do you think?
I don't think that's the only reason. I think, first of all, Trump doesn't like that she's been getting so much attention, and he wanted to do something to force the focus back on him. And so he had this very bizarre press conference at Mar-a-Lago yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right, though, that I think the caller's right, though, that he probably did do a press conference to kind of compare and contrast, because she hasn't taken any questions. She doesn't need to yet. She's still sewing up the nomination. She just had her VP pick announced, so I don't think she needs to do one yet. But it was a bad decision. It was a bad decision for Trump to go out yesterday.
I mean, I don't think that wins anybody over.
If anything, it makes him look older. It makes him look more rambling, more incoherent. All the things that Kamala presidency or
Kamala.
Okay, Kamala. I don't think we need to quibble because it's going to happen. But she looks younger. Just her being in the race makes him look older. And
actually, I think she's 59. I think she looks good for 59. I think she looks great.
Now he's the older one.
Oh, I think it absolutely irks him, and I think he's trying to show off.
She's 20 years younger than him.
Right.
20 years younger. He was already evicting minorities from his properties when he was 20 years old.
Morning, crew. Just wanted to make a quick comment about Nico's continued tardiness. Bro, you're quite uppity for somebody who messed up and is late. You're the one that did something wrong. Obviously, Buzz is the one looking to antagonize you and continue to bring it up. But you came out swinging and chose violence this morning. That was on you. You made the decision. You have no reason for being so uppity and disrespectful. Bro, figure your life out, man.
Oh.
What do you have to say to that?
Okay. Oh, my gosh. One, guys, at this point, I mean...
We know you're going to be late.
Like, look...
Yeah, we know.
Okay, yeah, honestly, like the Buzz is trying to shame me.
I am,
and it's like
I'm hoping I can shame you into being on time.
Work. Yeah, and that's why I got up at your upset today, because it's like Buzz chose that route because he's trying to do something, but it's also like, dude, anyways, like, why are you going to choose this route to go in the morning?
Allow me to put this out.
Let me say this. Then fire me by now. Why not fire me?
It's just like the song. You can fire me. There's no one else here, bitch.
Sure.
You're just like the late song.
Yeah.
Let me say this at least. Nico is kind of an at-will employee.
I am.
Meaning I'm
not full-time.
You're not a full-time
employee.
employee.
He's here. If he's not, he's not.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't cut a lot of mustard with some people because they have a part-time job that they're not allowed to just waltz in 20 minutes late for.
Yeah.
Let me just say to any kids out there might be kids listening and go, oh, grown-ups don't have to show up on time if they get a job. This is not going to work for almost anybody out there listening.
Oh, no. Please, nobody look at me as a model or regular.
If you've got a shift at McDonald's and you show up 20 minutes late.
Oh, you fired.
You're going to get fired.
You fired.
Okay, so I just want to make sure anybody out there listening thinks, oh, that's how you do a job. You can just show up whenever. Here's one more call.
What's up with that? Nico just strolls in like nobody's business. No donuts, no burritos. What's going on here?
Yeah, at the very least, bring us a
donut. You want me to be even... Yeah, I was going to say.
If you're going to be late, you might as well make it worth it.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, bring us some coffee or donuts. I honestly don't mind that.
Like, my whole thing would be
you're already out there, dude.
Yeah, I probably should have just gone. And then Buzz calls me, I'm like, where are you now? Well...
Getting us donuts.
I'm up. Getting everybody food.
Yo, good morning. Friendly neighborhood line cook here. Y'all stop making fun of Nico for being late.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Nico, we are just not punctual people. It's okay. And Buzz, like you said, you just expect them to be late.
What's that now? He said I guess he's also late all the time.
No, I guess
That's
so.
not acceptable.
That's your people right there.
Do you remember the thing?
thank
Do you
you.
remember the time blindness thing we heard about like 4 months ago? And I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard of. People have time blindness; they can't keep track.
And then we
of
made fun of Nico for being time blinded, and then someone got mad at us.
why? Because it's a real condition.
Because it's a real condition.
That's debatable. I mean, alarm clocks work for people with time blindness the same way they work for people without time blindness.
You're gonna upset
That's
that one
why
guy
somebody
again.
invented freaking alarm clocks.
Yeah.
And Buzz, like you said, you just expect them to be late. It's like my manager at work. Before I leave the next day, he's like, I'll see you tomorrow around 11. Like, yeah, I'll be there, give or take 15. But, I mean, come on. It's fine. At least we show up. We do our job. We do it well. Right, Nico?
Yes.
Damn right. Y'all have a good one.
You know, if you've made this work for you somehow, then I guess I'm happy for
Sure.
you. But I don't want any young person out there listening and thinking that this is going to be acceptable for you. You would have to find a really unique set of circumstances where they're just fine with you being 15 minutes late. It's not that your first job is probably not going to be like that. If you get a job and you have you're a shift worker, you got to be there on time.
Absolutely.
Okay, you agree with that?
Yeah.
You're not a good example for children.
No, never said I was. Please.
Yeah, don't look up to Nico. If
Yeah.
you do, check yourself before you
Wreck yourself.
Yeah, I'm a comic.
Okay, if you're going to be on stage at 7 o'clock, do you show up at 7:15?
We've been through this. That's the important thing to know.
Oh, that's his passion. So
yes,
he's not
so
late.
he's
for
not
that.
late to that.
Well, and I guess I would have to say, like, look, if I had Joanna's job where I walked, like, she's the reason that the show starts in the morning. Buzz couldn't even start the show in the morning.
Not anymore. I get,
like if
it would take me a couple of weeks to relearn how to.
Like you would have to go to her studio.
Oh yeah,
and you don't know any of the buttons in there.
You don't even know how to run this new system we've had for 5 years.
Yeah,
it's been like 20 years since I ran my own board,
and that's a new updated board.
Yeah, but up until that point, 20 years ago, I had worked on several different boards. I could always figure out the board is the controls and everything. So Joanna's got
know how to run this.
I've got a board in here, but it's not the main.
So
board.
Joanna has to be here when it starts. Like Joanna has.
I think anybody.
When will I have to be here?
Anybody who accepts a job.
No.
Has
Because
to
we're
be
talking
there.
about me being on my show. So there are certain jobs that are just like critical. Like Buzz, you've been late. I think to the past where like you got here past the show time start.
Never.
No?
Not once in my entire career.
You've gotten here like maybe 5 minutes before.
Right. Like if something really,
Like
really
you were
went
running
wrong. There
late.
was one time I could not find my keys anywhere.
Right.
One
and I
time
got here,
we
I was
almost
still
picked
10
you
minutes
up.
early.
Okay, but that's not the point.
I called it. Somebody's going to come pick me up. I can't find my
Exactly.
keys. That wasn't even that long ago.
No, that was
but
a
do
few
you
weeks
see
ago.
that I was up and trying to do something about my situation?
Well, I'm glad because it's the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Nico
But
is trying to make the point that we're both important, which I have an issue with because you make it seem like you're not important to the show, and you are. You're very important to the show. You.
Oh, me. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
especially getting started.
Yes.
We need you here to start the show.
No,
It kinda
I
sets the
understand
tone.
that.
Our
And it's
listeners
disrespectful.
Miss you.
I understand that. I'm just saying that there's certain critical things like being on air or being at a show when the announcer calls your name. That's one of these critical things where
Think if this is a comedy show and the announcer is going to call your name.
Well,
and we're going to do it every morning
Okay.
at 6 a.m.
I'll think of it that way.
You'll think about it that way. All right, good. Maybe that's progress.
Morning show. All this thing about Nico, you're like the path, like the art resistance to life or something like.
Yeah, I didn't follow that. What are you saying? I'm mine is an old-fashioned way of thinking. You've got to be on time for your job. Is that the way people your age think about?
I don't think that's what he was saying, dude. I don't know what he's saying. I don't know.
I couldn't make it out either. You know what? This is kind of take it off. Have you ever been late? Like the announcer's ready to bring you up on stage, and for whatever reason, you're late. Has that ever happened?
Things happen, yeah, sure. Where you're, something's happening where you're kind of delayed and you're trying to get to the stage. But once your name is called, and if like the worst thing in the world in my head, like a nightmare, I have a recurring nightmare, is Bart Reid, the owner of the comic strip. when the show gets started, the lights dim and the other lights go on, the spotlight goes on, and it's like, get ready for the show. And welcome your host, Nico at Jimian. Nico.
I mean, they wouldn't get up there and do that if they knew you weren't in the building, right?
But they don't know. Like, a lot of times, they don't know. Things are just supposed to happen.
Good morning, guys. On the topic of Nico being late, I pride myself on being early. I've been early for work. Never like to be late. Never like to be late. I do, in a way, feel like it's kind of an unacceptable thing to be late for work. I'm an hour for work right now listening to this show, by the way. But the thing is that, odds are, one day you're going to be late, no matter how hard you try.
It happens, yeah.
Yes, that should be such a fleetingly rare incident that people go, oh, yeah, well, you're such a reliable worker. We're going to overlook this one because of exigent circumstances or whatever. If it happens multiple times, a month.
One day I was early for work, and I was early as usual, and I dozed off in my car. Woke up 5 minutes after it was time for my shift to start in the morning meeting. I ran in there, heart beating fast, scared to death, squeezed into the meeting. No one even noticed I was late because they already assumed I was there since I'm always early.
Well, yeah, and that's a good thing. You build up a reputation over years of never being late. So then when you are late, people know it must be a legitimate thing. Let's see.
Do you want me to read some of these app chat messages?
Maybe. I don't see the app chat messages, but I do see the phone calls as they're coming in. Mm-hmm. Here's somebody, who says that we need... Well, listen to what they say.
Hey, good morning show. I'm glad we're having this intervention for Nico and with Nico. I just wanted to... It's my turn to speak about, how he's affected my daily drive, not listening to his jokes. Come on, Nico, you're better. It's starting to affect you personally, too. I mean, you're wearing sandals to work, open-toe house slippers, your shirt's inside out. I mean, it's time to admit you have a problem, man, and we're trying to get you the help you need.
No, Nico is a lost cause. I don't think I'm ever going to convince Nico, but if I could just put it out there to any impressionable minds who might be listening, this is usually not acceptable. Now, somebody has some nice things to say about you. That would be a nice switch up, right?
Sure.
So, Nico, I guess the only thing I would say, bro, is I just miss you when you're not there, bro. So y'all can ask Nico. I texted him one time on a Saturday, and I was like, "Man, where's the morning show at?" And then remembered it was Saturday. But man, what I really wanted to call about though is, have y'all ever felt like it takes too much, emotion to watch a series?
Yes.
And it just drags on forever and ever, that whenever you watch a movie, it's like, boom, done. You started something and you finished it, and it just feels great. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but how do y'all feel about that? Later. Stoner Guy out.
That is Stoner Guy. Right, I'm starting to recognize the numbers, and I was 90% sure.
You don't recognize the voice? That was like a classic.
Again, I was almost 100% sure. What was the last point that he made? Oh, about movies or TV shows. Yeah, that's the good thing about a movie. It's a bad movie. It's going to be over soon. I don't know. There have been times when I'm so into a series that the day that a new one comes out, I'm excited all day long. I was like that with The Walking Dead. I'm like that with, probably everybody's got their own show. Where it's just like, oh, I feel great because there's a new episode of blank that's coming on. But I do get burned out, even on shows that I, really liked. I got burned out on Walking Dead. I mean, we're going to let that thing, it's going to go on forever. The Boys is really getting to be a grind.
God, I still haven't even finished that. It is a little taxing to watch.
Oh, thank you, The Builder. Buzz, don't fire Nico. The show is at its best with the full current roster. Love you guys.
It really is. I will say that.
I do not fire anybody. That is not my position in this company. To
I
fire
will say that when it's all three of us, it's a great show. So
that's
yes,
right.
Nico, you are
when you
missed
were gone last
when
week,
you're not here.
I mean, we had a freak show because Alberto was here. That was kind of a nice change up, but you're very missed when you're gone. And I do want to say about Alberto, he did a great job running the board.
What did you tell me? Like, you guys weren't off air for more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, he didn't drop us from the air more than once.
No, you know what? He really...
He only had the mics on while he was taking calls like 2 times.
I'm so proud of him.
I love Alberto. I really love that kid.
He's great.
But what a weird dude, man.
Aren't his stories riveting?
Amazing. And the good thing about a conversation with Alberto is you can talk for an hour and you don't have to say one word.
Yeah.
He'll just go on for an hour.
That dude can talk, yes.
Let's go ahead and look at the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events for today. It is August the 9th. Today is Book Lovers Day. Do you love books?
I love books.
You know what I used to love about books?
The Scholastic Book Fair.
Oh, I loved it. I am forever chasing the high of a Scholastic Book Fair.
Special K. It'll get you there.
I love the smell of old books. Like when you open up an old book and there's this smell. Today is International Day of the World's Indigenous People.
Wait, what?
International Day of the World's Indigenous People.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Do they even know this day is happening?
The indigenous people?
Yeah, do they have access?
Indigenous?
Aren't we all indigenous? To the world.
I guess every human being is indigenous. It just depends on if you're living in the country you're indigenous to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Today is Veep Day. Birthdays today include Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise the Clown. He's going to be in the remake of The Crow. Did you like him as Pennywise, Joanna?
Yeah, those were pretty good movies.
Yeah, those were pretty good. The first one especially.
Yeah.
Anna Kendrick, the star of the Pitch Perfect movies, 39 today. And Thomas Lennon is 54.
Oh,
he
love
was
Thomas
Lieutenant
Lennon.
Dangle. He was Dangle on Reno 911. A guy that we interviewed about a month ago, Eric Bana, the Australian actor.
Stand-up comedian.
Yeah, he got his start in comedy. And he was about 2 Hulks too soon. Eric Bana is 56 today. The amazingly graceful and talented Gillian Anderson, who played Agent Scully on The X-Files, is having a birthday today. She's 56.
Love her.
And Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, is 57 today. He is still the only man to have ever played. Get this. Deion Sanders is still the only man to have ever played in a World Series and a Super Bowl. Not even Bo Jackson can say that. Hoda Kotb is 60. Currently, she's hosting the Today Show with Jenna Bush. And actress Melanie Griffith is having a birthday today. She's 67. Sam Elliott is 80. What do you know, Sam Elliott? What's the first thing you picture?
His mustache.
Yeah, sure. The mustache.
Slash his voice. Slash.
You take her easy. I was asking which movie.
The dad from The Ranch. Does that help?
Yeah.
The
there
Ranch?
we go. The Ranch.
Yeah.
What is The Ranch?
It's that
Come on, we
show.
watched it. We watched it together.
Oh,
No,
that was
but
nice.
remind me what it's about.
Ashton Kutcher, Danny Masterson was in that.
I got to tell you, I never saw an episode of this.
Yes, we did.
Nico just said you guys watched it together.
Where they own a ranch. It's like a sitcom.
I swear to God, I've never heard of this
Yes,
show
we
before.
totally watched it.
I would say Roadhouse is a great one.
I never saw that.
Big Lebowski. Did you see that one?
Yeah, he does come out of that.
Take her easy, dude. Now, this Lebowski might be the laziest man in all of Los Angeles. Some dates in history for you. The Manson murders took place on this date 55 years ago.
Oh, cool. I mean,
No.
not
What?
the Manson. I meant,
What?
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, my God.
That there's this history today. That's what I meant.
55 years ago.
I'm gonna go
actress
watch,
Sharon Tate, Coffee Era's Abigail Folger, and 4 others were found murdered in the home Tate shared with her husband, Roman Polanski. However, he was out of the country. Did you know when the murders first took place, Bruce Lee, was initially one of the suspects that the LAPD were looking at?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not for long, but like for the first week, he was one of the suspects in the Tate murders, not the Lobianco murders.
And not Cliff Booth?
And not Cliff Booth. What's the name of the movie again?
Once Upon a Time in
Hollywood. Yeah.
50 years ago, President Richard Nixon, also known as Tricky Dick, became the first president to resign from office. Vice President Gerald Ford was sworn in. That was 50 years ago. And 80 years ago, this is a big date, the Forest Service unleashed their new fire prevention spokes mammal, Smokey Bear.
Smokey Bear.
Yeah. I don't have anything open here, so I'm just going to try and remember this from memory. The first Smokey Bear was an actual bear cub that was rescued from a wildfire in Lincoln County. So not Ruidoso, but not far from Ruidoso.
But close.
Did you know that?
I didn't know it was that close.
He was from those, like, you know where, well, Lincoln County is the next county over. I don't know. Maybe Ruidoso is in Lincoln County.
Yeah, I think
Ruidoso is in Lincoln County.
Yeah, so in the same county is where they got this bear that was the first Smokey Bear. By the way, it's Smokey Bear.
Smokey the Bear.
No, I think it's just Smokey Bear.
Because he smokes.
No.
He loved to smoke.
No, he smelled like smoke because they had to rescue him when he was a bear cub.
Oh, yes.
If only they could have rescued that bear cub from RFK Jr., but... but today is the 80th anniversary. I guess in some ways you could say the 80th birthday of Smokey Bear.
With a ranger's hat and shovel and a pair of dungarees, you will find him in the forest, always sniffing at the breeze. People stop and pay attention when he tells them to beware, 'cause everybody knows that he's the fire-preventing bear. Smokey the Bear, Smokey the Bear, prowling and a growling and a sniffing the air. He can find a fire before it starts to flame. That's why they call him Smokey. That was how he got his name.
Aww.
Greg Wilson coming up this morning.
You've been working, baby, I'm not jerking.
So did you figure out the time?
Yeah.
You sure?
It's been gruesome.
You know we're on the air and you're just talking over this.
Oh. I thought
We're still on air, honey.
This day you need it. Friday you love. Friday you love. Oh, Friday you're gonna love. Friday you're gonna love. Friday you're gonna love. Friday you're gonna love.
Is it Friday already?
It's Freaky Friday.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5.
Visit Spectrum.com to switch for full details. Offer subject to change. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Oh, we're back. Buzz is back.
Hey, right on, Buzz.
Buzz in the Morning Show, 95.5 The Q.
All right, so just a heads up and a small adjustment on today's schedule. Greg Wilson will be here at 8. Hold on now.
Okay.
This next part involves you, Nico. So since Greg's going to be here at 8, Chris Reid's going to be here at 8:30, can you do the news early today?
Sure.
You could do it at 7:45.
I can do whatever you want.
Be on time?
I can't do that.
Okay.
That's the one thing.
That's the one
Yeah, that's the one of the few
cannot do.
I do want to say thank you to the really nice app chat messages.
Do you see how nice people are being?
I do.
Some of them are not. But
Oh, yeah. Some
ignore
of them
those.
are not. But, yeah, I do appreciate the really nice ones.
Read me some of the ones that aren't.
I don't want to.
Are they,
people who eat escargot don't have to be on time. Nico
You only eat
Also-
escargot. You only eat escargot on Christmas.
I don't even do that.
Also, Buzz is not the one in power to fire people.
Right. I've
You
seen a
can't
lot of
fire me,
comments
Buzz.
where it's like, well, you hired him. I don't hire. I don't fire.
You do remind me you're my boss, though, constantly.
I am
What?
your boss.
Nico, look at me. He's not our boss.
Okay, cool.
I'm your immediate supervisor.
You're not my boss.
I am an at-will employee. What does that mean?
If
You
he's
know, I think
willing,
at
he's
will
here.
usually refers to the employer's right to fire anybody at will, but I was applying it to you that you're at will to show up, I guess, whatever you want to.
I guess.
Right.
But out of respect to the audience,
The audience
we
loves
want to
you.
give them a full show. And as you're seeing from those nice app chat messages, people miss it when you're not here.
I know. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Especially to the people that, understand it. Nico has 2 jobs. Leave him alone. Thank you, hooligan. I have to do multiple things because this doesn't really...
It doesn't keep the lights on?
It doesn't keep the lights on.
Okay. Well, an El Paso man who participated in the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol building has been sentenced to 2 years in prison. He had previously pleaded guilty to multiple felonies and misdemeanors related to his conduct during the January 6, 2021 breach of the U.S. Capitol. David Rene Arredondo, 48, was sentenced to 33 months in prison, 3 years of supervised release in order to pay $2,000 in restitution. Arredondo pleaded guilty earlier this year to 8 counts, including civil disorder, a felony, assaulting, resisting, or impeding officers, a felony. Those are the misdemeanors, in addition to the felonies that he was charged with.
Did you not hear Donald Trump yesterday compare the January 6th rioters to Martin Luther King and his supporters?
I didn't hear that part of his
Oh
presser.
my God, let me find this because it was such a bat-ass crazy presser, dude, that I'm surprised all these little sound bites haven't already come out.
In what way did he compare the January? I know that he's called them hostages before and political prisoners.
That they were fighting for the right
to overturn an election. I'm sorry, guys. I just can't get my head around this. Joanna's got the Hollywood Cheesemate coming up here in just a few minutes. This month is August, so Joanna, can you bring that up real quick?
God, what is the song of the day? I don't even know it.
I lost.
this is what
I
it was.
lost my paper that had all of them on
You
it.
know what? I can never find the email on time. Okay.
We have a ghost song of the day. We're going to play it later during the day, not during the morning show. But when you hear it, we've got a great contest going on. We're going to get this to you here in just a second.
A ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost.
If you hear the ghost song of the day and you're the 13th caller, you are a daily winner and you win a nice little prize. 13th caller gets a copy of the new Ghost movie soundtrack right here, right now. But everybody that's qualified daily is eligible for the grand prize at the end of August. It is a signed guitar signed by Tobias Forge of Ghost, courtesy of Concord Records. It's a Phantom guitar by Hagstrom, autographed by Tobias Forge. That could be your prize at the end of the month, but you got to be a daily winner. So, Joanna, did you get that all together?
Yes.
Okay. What is the ghost song of the day?
Today's ghost song of the day is Missionary Man.
Missionary Man.
Yes, that is, you heard that right. It is indeed a Eurythmics cover.
That's my favorite position.
Eurythmics.
I mean song. Sorry.
What hour will that be played in, Joanna?
It will be played in the 10 a.m. hour.
Okay. Oh, so
That's
right
right
after
after
right.
us.
Yesterday's was really late. It was in the
It
6
was,
o'clock
yeah.
hour, and today's is going to be in the 10 a.m. hour. Can you play a little bit of that Eurythmics cover for us?
Of course.
Well, I was born an original sinner. I was born from original sin. And if I had $1 bill for all the things I've done, there'd be a mountain of money piled up to my chin.
Okay. There, I didn't know the name of that song, but I know that I've heard
That's
that
a good
song a long time.
song.
I was born an original. I didn't know that it was by the Eurythmics, and I didn't know the name of the song. Yeah,
You
just kind of a
learned
blind
so many
spot.
things today.
It is August all month long. I guess next month is either going to be September or we're going to have something else.
Was last year September?
We did. Most rock stations that play Led Zeppelin celebrate September, which comes right before Rocktober.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just trying to kind of mix it up. Last month was July Iron Maiden.
Hey, Donald Trump.
Oops, hold on a second. Oh, man, I can't find... ODG had a recommendation.
About Nirvana.
Yeah. Can you find that for me real quick?
Yeah.
Because I need to hear him
Somebody
pronounce
mentioned
it.
that one too, and I think our good friends Biani and Joe had some good suggestions. I can't remember them
For
right now.
November?
For the rest of the months. Let me see if I can find that.
Because November's tough. I say Aldo Nova Ember.
Aldo Nova.
Life is just a fan. He only had that one song.
Who is that?
Aldo Nova.
I don't even know who that is, Buzz.
He had a song, Fantasy. It was a big rock hit.
Okay, I got it. You want it?
I got it.
What's up, Mo Show? It's ODG. I got a name for the month of November for y'all. In honor of Nirvana, how about November becomes Nervember? Nirvember.
Nervember.
Or Nervember. Nirvamber. And for September,
yeah.
How about September or Sepultura? I like September too. September sounds a little more metal. I don't know. What do you think?
Sepultimber.
November, September. Okay.
There are no bad ideas. I just appreciate you throwing that out there as a brain starter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. Joanna, tell us more.
Here is Joanna Barbo with today's Hollywood Cheese Made. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning. Live from New York, it's the first Saturday night.
Woo!
The trailer for Jason Reitman's Saturday Night has been released, and with it comes a nerve-wracking look at the chaotic 90 minutes that led up to the very first SNL broadcast. The trailer for the film finds SNL executive producer Lorne Michaels, played by the Fabelmans' breakout star Gabriel LaBelle, fighting tooth and nail to get the show off the ground smoothly, and it doesn't seem to be going well at all. Standing in his way are unpredictable cast members and nagging studio executives. Here is a clip from the trailer.
I mean, we're 90 minutes of live television by a group of 20-year-olds who've never made anything. Do you ever stop and wonder why they said yes? A counterculture show starring total unknowns with zero narrative and even less structure. They want you to fail.
The first broadcast of SNL took place on October 11th of 1975. The episode was hosted by comedian George Carlin and featured musical guests Billy Preston and Janice Ian, Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, Garrett Morris, Lorraine Newman, Michael O'Donoghue, and Gilda Radner were all featured on that episode.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And there is a huge ensemble cast that includes Dylan O'Brien playing Dan Aykroyd, Corey Michael Smith playing Chase, Rachel Sennett playing Rosie Schuster, Lamorne Morris playing Garrett Morris, Nicholas Braun playing Jim Henson, Finn Wolfhard is an NBC page, and J.K. Simmons plays Milton Berle.
Okay, do you know why Jim Henson is included?
No, why? But
he was an original member?
In the trailer, it looked hilarious.
Or did the Muppets come from Saturday Night Live?
Totally looks like Jim Henson. I need you guys to look that up.
The first season of Saturday Night, I think the first season of Saturday Night Live had Jim Henson's Muppets come out and do a skit. They weren't Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy, though. They were other random...
Pink Blob and Blue Blob, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
You guys need to look up Nicholas Braun as Jim Henson.
Nicholas Braun.
You know, there was a movie that I think is worth checking out. Nico recommended it to me. In fact, it has a lot of the same characters. Like they cast somebody to play Chevy Chase, somebody to play Lorne Michaels, but it was National Lampoon.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a useless and futile gesture.
Hey, thanks for remembering that.
No, it was real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me happy.
So if you can't wait for the SNL movie, watch
a useless and futile gesture. Right. They get, who do they get?
Joel McHale plays, which is hilarious.
Chevy Chase.
He played Chevy
okay.
Chase.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get along on Community very well.
And who was the main character? Not Bill Hader from SNL. It was
Last Man on Earth, MacGyver,
MacGruber. Who plays MacGruber?
Will Forte.
Will Forte plays one of the creators of National Lampoon. And I remember seeing this movie thinking it was brilliant. I was like, oh, Buzz has to see this. So I actually made him sit down for the whole thing. I made sure we blocked out some time.
That was a great recommendation.
ADHD,
with his ADHD,
great.
yes, I know.
Saturday night releases in theaters October 11th. Meanwhile, SNL is set to air its 50th season this fall.
Did you say who's playing Belushi?
Belushi. Oh, you know what? I couldn't figure out who the guy that it was, but at first I thought, is that Dustin Ibarra?
Oh, it could have been.
It looked like him, but I don't think it is him.
Oh, it doesn't say in your story who plays Belushi?
And I can't find on the IMDb who is playing him.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
But I thought at first it was Dustin.
That's super crazy.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore because we're in Vegas, baby. The Wizard of Oz, a classic as famous as any movie ever made, could soon be played on the biggest and roundest movie screen in the country, the Las Vegas Sphere. According to a report in the New York Post, Warner Brothers Discovery has been in talks with James Dolan's Las Vegas Sphere on a top secret project to adapt The Wizard of Oz into an immersive visual experience. To fit it to the screen, the Post says the 102-minute film will become an 80-minute digitally enhanced sensory spectacle. What's more, the Post says the Sphere will spend about $80 million on the project to get it to fit on that 18K wraparound LED screen, with Warner Brothers getting a 5% cut. No word on how much a ticket to a Wizard of Oz experience would cost or when it would run, but the Sphere, in between concert residencies, is regularly showing Darren Aronofsky's experimental film Postcards from Earth, and is reportedly bringing in more consistent profit from those showings than from live concerts, which can be costly to generate an entire show. The 55-minute movie screens 3 times a day, and the cheapest tickets go for $94.
Okay, can I play this thing real quick about The Wizard of Oz that I just came across yesterday? And Joanna, maybe you could give me the context to this.
Okay.
There are 2 grown men in a living room arguing about the Wizard.
Came in a bubble.
That one. Thank you, Joanna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what? And what's that?
It's just a famous video on the internet.
I've never seen
men
this
arguing
before.
about. You've never seen it?
I had never seen it.
Glinda came in on a bubble.
She
Yeah.
came in on a bubble.
Okay, so listen to this argument. 2 grown men arguing about the Wizard of Oz. Buzz, are you ready?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. Her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess. The Wicked Witch of the East, bro.
Wait, no.
You look at me and you're going to tell me that I'm wrong? Am I wrong? She wore a crown and she came down in a bubble, Grow up, bro. Grow up. Get educated.
She wore a crown.
She came down in a bubble. That video is so funny. I feel like Buzz needs to see it.
Maybe
really understand and appreciate
2 men
it.
arguing about whether Glinda was a witch or a princess.
She was a fairy.
And then people in the comments are like, well,
no, she's the good witch. She identifies herself as the good witch of the North?
I think she is friends with the good witch of the North.
No, she is.
Is she?
I'm Glinda, the good witch of the. Yeah, she calls herself a witch.
So
end of argument.
People in the
fight me.
People in the comments. People in the comments are like, "Are you talking about the book, Wicked, or the movie?"
Right, all different scenarios.
Is anybody looking forward to the big screen adaptation of Wicked?
Yeah, kind of.
I've never seen the play, so I'm kind of curious what it's about.
There's something pretty controversial about this adaptation.
Oh, what's that?
One of the actors
is a witch.
Wears green face.
Who's upset? Kermit?
Yeah. I thought we'd move past this, folks.
Yeah, seriously.
Moving on. Kate Blanchett may have 2 Oscars, but back in the day, she was just glad to get a free sandwich. The actress revealed that her minuscule salary on the Lord of the Rings films.
Whoops, sorry. My bad.
Her salary on the Lord of the Rings films only covered craft services and her costumes.
Well, I would take that up with my agent. Who worked this deal for her?
Here's what she had to say on Watch What Happens Live.
What film that you've done gave you the biggest paycheck?
Oh my God.
I'm assuming, okay.
No, you say, you go.
You
no,
say.
You say, no, you go.
Well, I think it's probably Lord of the Rings.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, really?
No one got paid anything to do that movie.
Did you get a piece of the back end?
No.
What?
That was way before any of that. You know, no,
so what was
nothing.
The movie that was your
I wanted to work with the guy who made Brain Dead. I mean, I basically got free sandwiches, you know. And I got to keep my ears. Which is something they fed me.
Ears are huge.
No,
so I'm trying to think what would you think it would be?
No, well, not very often. I mean, women don't get paid as much as you think they do.
Wow.
Is Kate Blanchett American or something else?
No.
What is she?
Yeah, what is she?
Australia? No, that's not Australia.
She's from an English-speaking country, I believe.
I'm sure she's from an English-speaking country.
Oh, she is Australian.
She's in this new movie that opens today called Borderlands, which I guess is based on a game of some kind.
Right.
Oh, it's based on the video game Borderlands. Okay.
Do you want to hear some of the reviews?
Sure.
Yes.
Forbes, the Borderlands movie debuts with a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oof.
That must have shot up because it's now at 7% on Rotten
good.
Tomatoes.
I'm not familiar with
Borderland reviews. It's strange to see Kate Blanchett slumming.
Slumming it. Interesting.
I'm not familiar with the plot of the game.
Neither am I. But my nephews want to see it.
Seeing generally very, very negative reviews.
Is it about El Paso? Was it filmed here? Okay, the Borderlands video game series is set on the planet Pandora, a barren, wasteland
Pandora
filled with
Pandora. That's where the avatars live.
A barren wasteland filled with dangerous creatures, bandits, and mercenaries. The player takes on the role of Vault Hunter, who searches for a mysterious vault that contains alien loot and riches.
It's a video game.
Yeah,
that's a video game plot.
Yeah, that sounds just like Fallout.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, Blanchett was not the only star of The Lord of the Rings who says they got gypped by a stingy salary. Her co-star Orlando Bloom said during a different show that he only made $175,000 for all 3 movies.
Wow. How did they get ripped off so much?
I don't know. That's a good
and Orlando, what's his name? Orlando Bloom was in 6 movies.
6? Oh, damn.
Yeah, he showed up in the Hobbit movies too.
Oh, he did? Well, because he's an elf.
Yeah.
He's
live a long
ageless.
time. You know what you call an elf with no legs?
What?
What's that?
Legolas.
It's because I saw the punchline coming in my head, but not in time, and you got there right.
Hilarious. Well, finally.
Wake up in the morning feeling
like Pete.
No, you're not waking up like that. Kesha has announced that she will re-record her hit song TikTok, changing the like P. Diddy line to F. P. Diddy, following accusations made against the media mogul that came to light earlier this year. TikTok, released in 2010, remains one of Kesha's biggest hits and spent 9 weeks in the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100. In the original song, of course, she says, "Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy." But during her Coachella performance in April, she changed the lyrics to F. P. Diddy. It's a jam. There's a trend on TikTok, the app, where it's like, how drunk were you in the 2010s based on how many Kesha songs you know?
Oh, my God.
I know this one.
A lot of Kesha songs.
If you know more than 2, you were drunk.
I was drunk a lot. Yeah.
My favorite Kesha moment is when she asked Jerry Seinfeld for a hug on a red carpet.
And he's like,
He said no.
Oh, please, no.
With your entertainment news, I'm Joanna Barba.
All right, we're going to come back in just a second. Greg Wilson is on the way later at 8 o'clock this morning. Nico and Jimmy next with news headlines on the way. Right after this.
Music news, concert updates, song and album factoids, and of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
It's packed with El Paso Sprouts today to explore better for you products.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
We've got a pretty full show today. We have comedian Greg Wilson, who's in the latest Geico commercial. That if you watch TV, you've seen it. There's just
you
no
have
two ways
absolutely seen it. Yeah.
So Greg Wilson is in El Paso this week at Bart Reid's comic strip.
You know what's funny is I just saw on Greg's profile that him and Flo from Progressive have taken a bunch of pictures, and they should do a show together, like Progressive and Geico spokespeople.
Get Limu, Emu, and Doug in there too. Then coming up later at around 8:30, Christopher Kid Reid, who was part of the power duo of the 80s and 90s, really. They were still making house
Kid and Play.
Do you know they made 5 house parties? I could be wrong about this. I wrote it, and I had
you said 5 in the article.
That's correct, then. They made 5 house party movies.
I did not know.
Did you know that Kid and Play had a Saturday morning cartoon? Like a network Saturday morning cartoon?
I especially did not know that part.
They do. Anyway, Kid is in town. There's a big comedy show with George Jimenez, our very good friend Jibbs, the magician.
And George Jimenez.
And Joe Rosales. And Chris Reid is headlining. This is at the El Paso Municipal Police Officers scholarship fundraiser.
That's for scholarships for the children of police officers, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be at the Municipal Police Officers Association Hall at 3601 Rutherglen, and Chris Kid Reid is
That's going to be a really, really good show.
So a lot of comedy happening, a lot of guests coming in on the morning show, but let's get to our news headlines before we do anything else. And time to get going. Here's Nico with news headlines. Good morning, Nico.
Good morning, Buzz. Good morning, Joanna. Before I get straight into the news, I've got to clear out some of these app chat messages because they are just piling up, and I want to get through them before too much later. Some people are saying that there are a lot of other things we could be doing, like Disturbed Ember or Black Septabith.
Black Septabith. I can't even figure out what that one would be.
November.
Him?
Like the band Him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So people are really into that right now.
Okay. AC/DC Embrace. I'm telling you.
AC/DC Embrace.
How about Pearl January?
That would be good, too. Gordo's asking, are we doing spoilers today about Deadpool? I've been asking and wanting to hear the spoilers.
Joanna has heard from some people, really one guy who's adamant that we not do spoilers, but Joanna is equally adamant that we do it.
Oh, come on.
We've
given so much warning.
We got to talk about
this movie's been out for 2 weeks, folks. If avoiding spoilers is is it just one person who's really?
It's really one person.
Okay. All right. Well, we're not going to do it until the 9 o'clock hour.
Okay. So you know, 9 o'clock would be the time. Also, Jen, happy birthday. It is her birthday tomorrow.
All right. What's happening in the news?
In the news, Donald Trump's first press conference was yesterday, and it was a doozy. 3 and 1 are the current important numbers in the 2024 presidential race. During his press conference at Mar-a-Lago yesterday, former President Donald Trump proposed that he and Vice President Kamala Harris hold 3 debates on 3 different networks: Fox News, ABC, and NBC.
All right. That's great.
Okay. He hasn't talked to her about this. She has only been saying, I'm just doing the one we've had planned before. The one on ABC.
September 10th.
The one that's always been planned ahead of time.
I thought Trump was saying last week, it's not fair that he was prepared to debate Biden, and now they switched the people on him, and he doesn't want to do September 10th.
Said,
and now?
I'm sorry, I can't do a debate on ABC News because I'm in litigation with them. Well, let's do it on Fox News. She has ignored all of those things and be like, hey, I'm going to be there.
At the one that's already
on
set
September
up.
10th. If you're there, that would be great.
We have a lot of bad things coming up. You could end up in a depression of the 1929 variety, which would be a devastating thing. Took many years, took decades to recover from it. And we're very close to that. We're very close to a world war. In my opinion, we're very close to a world war.
Well, they haven't even established for sure that we're going to have a recession. Or if it is a recession, whether it's a soft landing or hard landing.
Donald
recession.
Trump's talking out of his ass. He's throwing things at the wall, and he's hoping that you pick up on them, and you just kind of like, oh, really?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds.
It's
using fear.
Yes,
as a
typical
tactic.
fear tactics. Trump announced that he challenged Vice President Kamala Harris to 3 debates.
I just look forward to these debates. I think it's very important that we have them. I hope she agrees to them. September 4th, September 10th, September 25th. And I think they'll be very revealing.
Well, sorry, Donald, but she's probably just going to be the one with you on ABC.
Some people called back to push back on what you said earlier about Trump comparing the January 6th riot to Martin Luther King's crowd.
Okay. Do you want me to play that?
Play that part of what
His
he was
speech?
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to hear the context of what he said that in.
Sure.
The biggest crowd I've ever spoken, I've spoken to the biggest crowds. Nobody's spoken to crowds bigger than me. If you look at Martin Luther King, when he did his speech, his great speech, and you look at ours, same real estate, same everything, same number of people, if not, we had more.
I am shocked that he would think it's appropriate to
compare the size of his riot to Martin Luther
King's
of all,
I Had
a Dream speech.
So I guess this, if you have a big enough platform, if you have a big enough microphone, a bullhorn, you can just lie. And there's nobody really going to be out there to...
No, there's a lot of people who call it out and fact check and so forth.
Sure, but a lot of people aren't.
Let me give you an example that Donald Trump lies. Is
like right now, I'm going to say I have a 10-inch member, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody to dispute that right now. So now everybody listening,
girls who've known Nico, call in and
try and call in, and I can still liars, bunch of liars.
She's a bitter, crazy, stupid woman.
Liar.
They're not smart enough.
Now prove me wrong. Somebody prove me wrong.
So I think that his followers know that he says things that are just blatantly untrue, and they don't care. So one thing he was talking about the border, and he was saying the situation with the U.S.-Mexico border is the worst in the history of the world. You know, before about 1910, they didn't even have a border policy. You could, if you wanted to, walk back and forth. They didn't have a border patrol. They didn't have anybody policing that area. So I don't know how the policy is more wide open now than it was when it was literally you could come and go as you please. And in the history of the world, it's hyperbole, yes, but if you're accepting that kind of counterfactual statement and you also accept everything else he says, I mean, you know that the border situation is not the worst of any country in the history of the world.
No, but if you are going to suck up to him and you're going to think, well, maybe he's
yeah, right. At this point, he can do no wrong. Whatever he says, you now believe.
We're saying we just want fairness. We want dignity for all people. We want to recognize the right all people have to freedom and liberty to make choices, especially those that are about heart and home, and not have their government telling them what to do.
That was Vice President Kamala Harris talking to an audience of union members and talking about collective bargaining which is something that her and her running mate are running on.
Do you know I have like a bad personal history with unions?
Yes, I do.
Have I told you that story before?
Yes, I do.
It's the kind of thing that happens when you're young and it sticks with you.
Well, I'm glad we did this yesterday. We went through a list of typical Republican conservative positions.
And I match up on all of them.
And you match up on almost all of them as a Republican conservative. And another one of those is being against collective bargaining and unions.
Well, that doesn't go so much into it. It's just
as Republicans, though, that is a typical Republican conservative
Yeah, I
point.
guess so.
Yours comes from the fact that your dad was a manager at a factory.
Yeah, but he was blue white collar.
Right, he was right in between.
White collar, and anyway,
middle management.
His company was when I was a kid, so like 10. They were trying to unionize, and I guess he was on the side of management. And there would be calls in the middle of the night. One time we were walking out of a store, and a couple of guys came up and started talking to my dad, and my dad told my mom to take me and my brother, to the car. And I asked when he got in the car, what was that all about? He said, oh, just saying hi to some guys from work. But my mom told me later that those guys were threatening, is like, now we know what your family looks like, and that kind of stuff. So there was some. Oh my God. My experience with unions is that they were intimidating thugs, from my personal experience.
Sure.
And I know you can't paint with that broad a brush.
No, but it is your opinions on things.
Yeah. Hey, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who somehow is still running for president,
who has brain worms and who has roadkill in his freezer and who likes playing pranks with dead bears' bodies.
He's now, all of that stuff is true, and that's not even getting into him being the number one vaccine misinformationist in the world, but he's trying to defend the idea that he took a baby bear cub because he was gonna cook the meat or use the meat, by saying that he has a lot of exotic animals. For instance, he had it, I think an ostrich or an emu, one of those types, like
emu,
maybe a emu. And there's another story that he has pet crows, and that he was going to feed the bear meat to the pet crows. It's like he's trying to make this sound normal, but somehow
I forgot about his crow training.
His crow training. You're right. Oh, the bear meat was for my crow. I trained the crows. What?
Hi, it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Do you have a strange exotic pet like I do? Well, then come to RFK's Exotic Pet Co. Whether you have a pet emu, a pet peacock, or a pet walrus, get what you need at RFK's Exotic Pet Co.
I just have a cat. Do you have stuff for cats?
I have all the food you need for your pet lion or your pet tiger. And if you have a pet giraffe, come on down and get your giraffe food.
Nope, just a cat. Do you have any cat food or maybe some catnip?
Maybe your pet hippo is extra hungry, or your pet alligator. Well, RFK's Exotic Pet Co. has everything he needs. Right, buddy?
What about cats? All I have is a cat.
What kind of loser only has a cat?
Hey!
RFK Jr.'s Exotic Pet Co. Stop by today.
Artist interviews, new music discoveries, celebrating artists' birthdays, commemorating releases, champion of all things rock.
Get all the music back to school at Hero Music. Visit hero-music.com for more.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
At the El Paso comic strip this weekend, you can see Greg Romero Wilson, our good friend who we've known for a long time.
Thank you.
For not calling him the.
Okay.
I gotta admit though, when someone, it's not the worst mess up in the world to be called the Greg Wilson.
Right.
Like it's like, well, okay, if you insist.
Well,
Great.
he did a whole article about you coming in. Oh, he wrote it up for our website.
Yeah, I said
and then the whole time it's like the Greg Wilson out the article. I'm like, oh, I have to correct this to Greg Romero Wilson.
Yeah.
I got to ask you a question. I found out that there are a lot of comics that are known by a certain nickname, and I thought that was of their choosing, but it turns out Bart gives them like Steve Trevino was the Sexy Mexi.
He gave him Sexy
Mexi?
because I always thought that was the worst nickname ever.
That was Bart. And John Stringer, he calls the dancing fool.
Yeah, he definitely didn't put that one out there himself. I'm the dancing fool.
Now, did he give you the moniker The Greg Wilson?
No. The Greg Wilson started in the late 90s when the internet was this Wild West wonderland.
Everybody was trying to figure out the information superhighway.
We didn't understand it. And so when I went to get a website, GregWilson.com was taken, GregWilson.net, Greg-Wilson. So what was available was The Greg Wilson.
Makes sense.
And we figured if I didn't go by The Greg Wilson, no one would ever find the website The Greg Wilson. This is just
This is
the way we thought in the 90s. We didn't understand how it is. We didn't have browsers.
Were you living in New York at the time?
No, this was still in Dallas. This is before I moved to New York. And so that's how I became The Greg Wilson. And so it just kind of stuck. So so that was that. And then after a while, I was like, I can't be The Greg
I need to mention that Tony B is here, too.
Yes, I am. The brilliant Tony B. We found out recently the B stands for
boning. All right, so I was telling
Tony B. Boning.
So is that my new nickname?
Yeah, it is.
Tony B. Funny.
Tony B. Funny.
Tony is a great comedian out of Arizona, and I would say, are you the house MC for Rick Bronson's at this point, or no?
No, I do weekends there all the time, but I produce my own show there once a month.
Look at these rockers.
Yeah.
You need to hang out with these guys. Tony has a Metallica t-shirt on, and Greg has an Aerosmith. Is that in honor of them?
Yes.
No longer being a band.
And
Have
I
you heard
was
about
so
that?
glad. Yes, he broke his throat.
I'm surprised it lasted as long as it
I
did.
know. And after all the cocaine, I mean, well, he's been very open about the miles of cocaine he did.
Would you call Steve Tyler a throat goat?
Okay, I'm gonna. No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I would say Steven Tyler is one of the quintessential rock frontmen,
absolutely,
of all time. And you could put up there Elvis. I mean, not Elvis. You could put up Elvis
Costello.
No. Frontman Mick Jagger. Is great. Not the greatest singer,
right?
But a great frontman.
Yeah, Jim Morrison, same way.
Robert Plant.
Yeah,
now
he could sing.
He was a singer. Freddie Mercury has to be one of the great frontmen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but you're right. Jim Morrison is just a great frontman because he's a great frontman.
Yeah,
doesn't wear a shirt.
Yeah.
He was an okay singer.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Mick Jagger is an okay singer. Yeah. But they're great frontmen.
All right, so what were you doing? You're building their shirts up just to make fun of me about something?
Anytime I make a rock reference, Joanna gets it. Joanna and Nico are the same age. Nico doesn't get it.
Right.
I like rap.
So we were talking about somebody in our corporate office named Roxanne, and as a joke, I said in the meeting yesterday, "Hey, let Roxanne know she doesn't have to put on the red light."
It was the dumbest joke in the world. Yes.
Yeah, it's still dumb. You know what though? I got to tell you, Nico, it is possible to like both rap and rock.
Oh, he's a rap guy. If you put a rap song on, he knows every word.
I love rap, but I mean, I also love rock. I
like both.
I love it all.
Well, they got kind of mashed up in the 90s anyway, right? The whole new metal, wasn't that basically rap and rock?
Yeah, absolutely. With
what's the first
Body
rock
Count?
song?
Body Count.
Yeah.
But also Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
And then the Beastie Boys, obviously, with Sabotage.
And aren't you impressed that I said Roxanne, a song by the Police with a lead singer named Sting, which is weird because Police do stings.
You didn't say any of that yesterday.
Yep.
I told him that after
our
meeting.
Questionable looks.
The Police.
Good Lord.
I want to shoot you in the face. Or Police do stings.
Isn't it?
And you let him live with you? Oh, my God.
It was Buzz's joke he said yesterday after the meeting again. I'm just stealing a terrible joke.
I had never thought of it before, but the Police had a lead singer named Sting, and the Police do sting operation. So the police, you could say the police were a sting operation.
Okay, you could say that.
I'm gonna open with that tonight.
I was going to say, you could say that if you wanted to be in the top 3 on funniest people.
I was trying to save you, buddy.
I didn't say
He threw himself on the
I didn't say
grenade.
it to anybody other than Nico. That's the only person I said.
Nico was like, I'm writing that down.
I'm bringing this back up tomorrow.
I love puns. I can't help it. I don't know why, but I just love puns.
I hate them.
The puns are basically dad jokes.
The highest form of comedy.
I love puns.
If you only know one form of
Okay, so Greg is on a commercial for
multiple commercials.
Well, yeah, but the one that
It's one commercial they've
I
cut
see
up
it
multiple ways.
every morning.
Yeah.
And
Geico.
All right, I
it's
gotta ask.
Geico, and he's
we
like
gotta
in a parking
clarify.
garage, or is that a parking garage?
It's a parking garage,
They
yes.
cast some kid to play your son,
Yes,
I guess.
yes.
And there had to have been a stunt person.
Well, all right, hold
at
on.
Right? There had to have been.
Greg.
There had to have been.
Greg.
I don't know. He's telling me
See,
you
okay.
actually you slid under the car. That was you, and I said, "There's no way."
Yes.
No.
I was like, there were some things that Greg actually had to do.
Yeah, climbing to the edge of the thing that the stunt
Yes.
person jumps off of.
Now, here's the thing. What it is the meat and potatoes of it is him. I'm the beginning and the end. Okay, so you see the stunt, and then they would put me in. Now, bear in mind though, I was on wires.
Okay.
For 2 days flying around, like those drops. Like he does the ones between the levels, but then when I dropped to the ground, they were hauling me 40 feet in the air.
Wow.
And then just dropping me.
God, is that the parking garage at Universal Studios?
No. It was. It's in downtown Los Angeles.
All right, so when you're sliding under the car, there's you at the beginning, then a guy, another double slides under.
He slides. He doesn't.
told you.
But no, but then you are there at the end.
At the end, yes.
I told you that he was a little bit under the car at the end.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, I walked in, laid down.
magic.
I laid down. And then they yelled action, and I stood up. That was actually the easiest part of that day, was that part of the stunt. Because what he did, they put down on the ground that gravel they use on for not skee ball, the shuffleboard.
Yes.
Right?
Like at a bar?
Yeah. That
salt almost.
Right.
I mean, some
but
kind
it's
of
super
silica.
slick.
Yeah.
Right. It's super slick. So they threw that all over the ground.
Oh, that's
and
smart.
then he came running full steam, but he was still throwing his body onto a cement ground at full speed, and he would hit with a thud every time. And I was just like, it hurt me to watch him do it.
You get to watch the stunt guy's portions?
Oh yeah,
You're
his
there the
name's
same day?
Corbin. He's a sweetheart of a guy.
Wow.
So, although it's funny because, first of all, I didn't know I was okay. So the commercial is directed by a Swedish guy named Ulf.
Ulf.
That's his whole name, or Ulfa. So it's like Rick or Ricky, Ulf or Ulfa. So Ulf, he has that funny way of speaking.
Now that we need to bring Greg out to stand up.
So we're in wardrobe. We're getting costume fitted, right? We're putting on these outfits, and he comes in, and at this point, we've been told that the actor will have to do no stunts. Okay, and he walks in, he goes, "You good with wires? You like wires?" And I'm like, yeah, I can. Now, meanwhile, I'm not like, yeah, I had a heart attack 2 years ago. Put me on wires. So. But I'm like, yeah, I love wires. I don't know what he's talking about. And he goes, good, I think, yeah, maybe wires. And then he walks out of the room, not realizing I just committed to them strapping me on wires and flying me all over the place for the next 2 days.
Which you had never done before.
Never.
Now,
Never done it one time.
The commercial opens, and the character, whoever it is playing it, is dangling off the side.
Yeah, that's Corbin, and he's on wires.
I was going to ask you if that was you.
No, that was on me. There were certain things they asked me to do that I was like, no. I was like, Corbin, and then when we put on the outfit, they look at Corbin, they're like, he's like, yeah, put fat suit under that. so they put a padding around him, and he's like, yeah, good fat. Yeah. And then he looks at me like he realizes that fat's like an indelicate way of, and he goes, sorry. Fat suit.
A little large.
Yes, sorry. Now that's me. That was where they were dragging me all the way up in the air.
Did he really go through the window?
He really went through the window.
Yeah. Were you at the top of the window?
He's a legit, no. When it comes through, I just basically would jump up in the air and then land.
Okay, wow.
And then they just match it.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's remarkable how good the SFX is on this.
Yeah.
The company that did the special effects was a French company, and you have to stand there completely still while they shoot you from every possible angle, and it takes like about 45 minutes, and they're just shooting you like just every possible angle you could be seen from, and that's how they could put my face on his body sliding under the thing. That's my face on his body at the very bottom.
No wonder I thought it was you doing
Right.
this the whole time.
Because they put my face on his body.
How?
It's a very intricate spot.
This commercial costs more than Star Wars.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I've heard of like parkour and stuff like that, but this guy's like something you see a Marvel superhero movie.
I mean, he's a Hollywood stunt man. He's a Hollywood stunt guy.
All right,
This is
Greg,
what he does.
what do you think? Buzz and I have an idea for you.
This was your idea.
Flo from Progressive.
Sure.
And the Emu from Liberty
Yeah, yeah,
Mutual.
sure, that guy,
you guys go on the road. That's a touring show right there.
I'm the only one of those three that needs the money. Flo is living in the Palisades. She's just fine.
And that's Stephanie Courtney.
Yeah, and then
Is she a comic? Does she ever do
She
comic?
was in the
Groundlings. Actually, I saw one of I saw her in a show. Actually,
Yeah, and in fact, the other people that are like the other progressive people are also from the Groundlings.
Really? Wow.
Yes, like Jamie was her old buddy from the Groundlings. She'd been friends with him forever.
That's cool.
So these were, or at least this is my understanding, as I've been told. In the.
Do you get to bring Geico friends in with you now, or?
Oh, all of them.
Okay, cool.
Me and the lizard, we hang out all the time. I'd let him order at restaurants. He gets us into all the best places.
Caveman, you seen the Caveman recently?
He also, sure, yeah. We hang out. There's a cave we hang out in. We have a man cave.
Are you living in L.A. now?
I am in L.A. So
Okay. See, I didn't even think to call Greg when I was out there I spent a
You were
weekend.
in L.A.?
Yeah, my daughter
I am very upset you didn't
just
call
started her senior year on Monday.
Oh, look at that.
And she wants to go to USC.
That's cool.
And I don't know how to break it to her that I can't afford USC.
I think she knows now.
Nobody believes that, dude.
I haven't broken it to her yet.
Nobody believes that.
What? That I can't afford?
Yeah.
Dude, how much is that going to be? Like $40,000 a year?
Yeah, probably so.
Well,
an out-of-state tuition.
Yeah,
on
if
top
it's out of
that.
state, yeah.
So we went there to tour USC and to do a few other things.
Oh,
and,
okay.
I didn't know if you were out in LA
my God,
most of the time.
I can't believe that she's already graduating
old.
high
I know.
school. Because when I first started coming on this show,
She's a baby.
a baby.
Yeah.
A baby that you didn't even want.
It's not true.
I'm just joking.
I can't wait to tell her.
Oh my God, that's just a joke.
You're not far from the truth.
Yeah, shut up. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
She's
people.
actually developed a
She
really...
loves it. He always wanted to be fully responsible and pay for everything she
You'll
does.
be glad to know that they've bonded by now.
I'm trying to
So-
sell her on the UTEP film program.
My parents tried that. They're like, why can't you just go to UTEP? I'm like, I gotta get away from you people.
All right, Greg, can I ask you about a clip of you I just saw at, I'm not sure if it was the Ha Ha or the LA Comedy Club, but you got a woman to go on stage and put something on her butt, and you were throwing
quarters
into her butt.
Into her butt, yes.
Yes.
That sounds weird, but actually it makes sense in the context of the bit.
Yeah.
Is that a bit you only did the one time?
It just came up. I was just riffing. It's something I've talked about before. It's never really been a part of the act about the difference between Canadian money and American money. Because it is a true story how I went to Canada and they don't have $1 bills.
They got loons.
They have loonies and toonies, which is $1 coin and $2 coin. And so you can't stuff anything into their G-strings.
Yeah.
So what they do is they would dance, and then at the end of the dance, they'd sit there with a bucket, and people would throw coins at them like they're a fountain. Okay?
Like you're making a wish.
And no one is trying to hit the bucket. Everyone is hitting the girl. It is just, she's just taking bullets. and saying thank you with everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
She must have looked like Super Mario.
Totally. So I'm someone mentioned they're from Canada, and I'm talking about the Canadian thing. It reminds me of the story. I'm talking about it, and then this girl interrupts, and she goes, "My friend's a stripper, and what she would do is at the end of her act, she'd put the cup between her legs and right up under her butt, and you would have to throw the quarters right in." And I'm like, get me some quarters. And they did. They got the waitress ran and grabbed me a handful of quarters, and she couldn't get the cup in there. So then I had to if you were to see all the footage, I was like, stay still, and I'm like stuffing into the the airy into the butt. I'm stuffing the cup in there till it sticks. And then I started throwing, I got everyone to sing Because I'm Proud to Be an American by Lee Greenwood while I threw quarters into her.
I have, I love
your stand-up so much.
I've got to go to a Canadian strip club.
Have you seen the other clip, the one that's marked the most insane crowd work ever, where I did the 6 booby face slap?
Yes,
That's
I did see that one. He has 3 women on top on the stage, and then he gets his face to go across all 3 women's
all of their boobs.
Yeah, back and forth.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild.
It's a giant motorboat, like the big,
the world's biggest motorboat is basically what I did.
You're such a good stand-up. I saw your clip at Haha yesterday, the other one where you get like a standing ovation too.
Yes. That's for that was the first time I ran the hour for my new special that I'm shooting in November.
Oh, cool!
Called Everything Is a Lie, and so that was like the first time that I ran it.
Awesome!
It was a huge hit.
Where are you going to film it?
At the Water Tower Theater in Dallas.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Filming in November and out when?
What's that?
When's it out?
It depends on how long. Probably at the beginning of 25. Probably sometime at the beginning of 25.
Maybe Buzz and I could take a trip to Dallas. Go watch the show.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it'll be good.
This is never going to happen.
You hear that?
You hear that?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, we got, put us down for 2. Yeah. But you know what? If it gets too close to showtime, we're not there. You can release them. Just release them.
Hey, I got to take a break, and I just want to ask before we come back, you watching the Olympics at all?
Of course, I'm a limit. Can I tell you something real fast before we go? When I was a kid, I was a 4-year-old child, 1976 Olympics, and it was my favorite show. I couldn't believe it. I loved it. And we're at church, and I tell my dad, I'm like, Dad, let's go home. And he goes, why? I was like, I want to watch the Olympics. He goes, oh, son, the Olympics are over. I'm like, what do you mean they're over? When did they come back? And I'll never forget. He looks at me, and goes, in 4 years. And I'm 4 years old, and I'm like, that's a lifetime away.
Literally
my whole life. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
All right, we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about which sports you've been watching. I've got a few that I did not know were sports, and then I looked it up, and it's like, oh, they've been doing a steeplechase for humans since 1920.
I'm pretty sure they only do it at the Olympics. I don't know when anyone else ever does it.
Have you ever been to I've been to a lot of high school football fields that have a track going around.
Yeah.
I've never seen one with a water hazard in the middle of it.
No, it's very unusual.
All right, let's take a break. We'll get an Olympic update going on. Greg Wilson is here. Also, Tony B, and you can see the show this weekend at the El Paso Comic Strip, including Sunday?
Sunday, yes.
Yeah,
we'll be there
Sunday
through Sunday.
show.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We'll come back with more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show on the way right after this.
Hey, it's Double G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Right thing to do. Silcom Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Local and loco.
Don't you know I'm loco?
The Buzz Adams Morning Show. 95.5 KLAQ.
Greg Wilson is here. Tony B is also here. You can see both Tony B and Greg Wilson at the comic strip this weekend.
Yes, sir.
With a show tonight, 2 on Saturday. And
2 on Saturday,
2 on Saturday
one on
and Sunday show.
Also hosted by the great Otis Hicks. He's going to be the host for the weekend, I think.
Oh, good.
Yeah, great energy, that guy.
Yeah, he's great.
I like him a lot.
Let me see. We had a few calls about the Olympics. Apparently, this USA basketball game. Here, let me play this real quick.
Yes.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to comment on the USA basketball yesterday. It was one of the best games I've ever seen, both domestically or internationally. It was a great comeback, down by 17 in the fourth. And Stephon Curry, LeBron, and KD, and even Embiid did a great job. I mean, it was just awesome. And to see them celebrate together and the passion they have to win, it was awesome. It's going to be a great game on Saturday against France, against Wemby, and I'm looking forward to it. Y'all have a good morning.
Yeah, so is that the gold medal? It has to be.
It
right?
is, yeah. The gold medal game is
going to be against France.
But
with
really,
Victor
it was
Wembanyama.
against Serbia. That was the gold medal game.
They were down 17 in the fourth?
I think it was 14.
14?
Who knew the rest of the world was getting good at basketball, though?
I did, because I watched the NBA all through the 90s, and they started getting all these great players.
European players, and they're really making a dent now.
Arvydas Sabonis.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, watch your mouth.
Tony Kukoc. Remember Tony Kukoc?
Yeah, that's right. Now we've got and Dallas has been living on that.
Oh, yeah.
From Dirk to Doncic. I mean, that's their blueprint now.
There's a real European connection going through Dallas.
Even the French Tony from the Spurs.
Parker.
Tony Parker,
who was married to Eva Longoria. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's right. And I actually was dating a French girl in New York at the time, and she was like, "Oh no, Greg, my favorite player is Tony Parker. No, he is the best. No, the Mavericks are terrible."
It says here they must have been down 17 at one point.
They
Maybe
were
not
at
in the
one
fourth.
point.
At one point,
Not
they
in
were
the
down
fourth.
17.
Yeah, they were going into the second half. Actually, it's 6 points.
Here you go. Listen, let's hear the final call here.
Micic, 6 seconds left. Micic gonna have to hurry. Bogdanovic puts it up. Short. And the United States, trailing by as many as 17, back from underneath the grave, advance to the gold medal game.
I saw some people commenting, well, they should have never been down 17. These are supposed to be the best in the world. Dude, Serbians are serious basketball talent.
Well, and also they have a lot more time playing as a team. We have a collection of stars that play together for like 2 weeks. So there's not a lot of cohesion in terms of where each other's going to be on the court. So I think that has a lot to do with it. They just play.
Well, that was the thing when we would send our college, you remember that? We'd send the college all-stars, and you're like, well, these guys. Do you remember when they made a big deal about it being only for amateurs, people who didn't make money doing it? That's all out the window. Everybody makes money when they win a medal. It depends on what country you're playing for, but you get $15,000 up to $100,000 depending on the country. But back in the 70s, it was like, well, we got our college guys together, and they're playing these men from like the Soviet Union, who
played for the state, so they weren't professionals.
Yeah, right. But they lived long. I mean, for
their whole
Soviet
life
Union,
was paid for by the.
They didn't have to wait for bread,
right? Exactly.
Which is a big advantage.
Thank you, Tony, for that solid addition. Tony Swing.
It's really close with
I really thought there was going to be more to that. It's very early for us, guys. Comics aren't generally up this early. Actually, I usually get up right about.
I had no water last night.
That's right.
Our hotel has no water.
No water.
What?
Well, they didn't have any bottled water. They ran out of bottled water. And we're not drinking El Paso.
Are you guys morning people? Can you wake up early?
No. I mean, I think I am for a comedian because I get up at 8:30.
Your energy level says you're fine getting up.
Yeah.
It's an act.
I called it like 6:45. You were like this 24 hours a day. It's unbelievable.
I don't think I've ever heard him like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, never.
What's going on?
Never. I bet you could poke him at like 3 a.m. He'd be like, wow, what's going on?
I've known some actors and comics who are really larger than life, and then as soon as the microphone goes off, they go back into their normal, like Bobcat Goldthwait. He's not like that all the time.
Not at all.
Yeah, but he'll just shut it off just as soon as you go to commercials.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Greg can't shut it off.
Greg cannot shut it off.
Oh, and I have been asked to so many times. And I wish I could. I would love to be able to go to restaurants and shut it off. Instead, I just drive out the other people.
The switch is stuck.
It is. There's no switch.
The closing ceremony is going to be on Sunday.
Yes.
So if you're wondering, they just started like a few minutes ago, they just started the breakdance.
Yeah, dude.
That makes it really seem tacked on at the end. We're going to
I
get
think
the Friday
they do that
before
everywhere. I mean, we're tacking on for the LA Olympics. We're tacking on flag football.
Flag football.
Thank you. Exactly.
How about 3-on-3
There's
basketball?
something I want to say right now that I'll wait till we go to break.
Yeah. Does it involve dropping the L?
No. It just, I was going to extend the word by a couple extra letters.
So a couple of sports. I never knew in volleyball and beach volleyball, you could serve and hit the net and it's still in play. I don't know how I grew up playing,
indoor volleyball, right?
No. Beach volleyball as well. In fact, that seems
if it touches the net and then tips over, it's still in play.
In tennis, that's called a net serve. In ping pong,
I thought
it's
it was
called
a let serve.
or net serve. I've heard both.
Yeah, it's let.
The steeplechase. So I remember seeing the horses, and they'd run around a track, and they got to jump over hurdles, and some of the hurdles have water. I honestly did not know that this was a sport for people until this week when I saw him doing it.
It's a track and field event that's in like college events. And
It harkens back to a tragic time when people were used as horses in many countries, and we just didn't turn it into a sport here in America. So,
how often do you get to watch somebody do the hammer throw? Unless you go to track meets.
Well,
all the
and
time.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, some of these have zero practical application outside of the Olympics. Like throwing the ball, the giant ball, or the discus. I mean, it's cool. It's awesome.
Really cool, right?
But I mean,
the shot put.
There's no second act here.
Are you gonna go pro?
Yeah,
Is there gonna be a?
So what do you do now? I go to malls and I throw discs through windows.
Those guys that throw the shot put, though, man, they all have, some things you see people and they have a different style. This is everybody kind of does it the same way. You've got to wind up and you do the thing, and these guys look just like
massive,
massive,
They
solid.
have the chalk on the neck and on the cheek and everything, so it rip their face off.
I got to tell you, I really, really, for some reason, enjoyed the Olympics this year. I've enjoyed them in years past.
Why? Did you get some Blue Chews and a bottle of wine? Wait, having a nice romantic time with the Olympics, watching the beach volleyball, watching the Brazilian team?
I have no idea what Blue Chew.
He has no. I knew he didn't know what that was. I knew he didn't know what it was.
What is it? Viagra?
Yeah, it's Viagra. It's chewable Viagra. That's all it is.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
The commercial.
Really? And what is the website again?
The commercials are everywhere online.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. One thing that I can't help noticing, it's 2 weeks long. Olympics is 2 weeks. I would definitely want to be in week one. You don't want to be in week two. Because week one people, they're done. Then they get to party and, get laid for a week.
Not with the anti-sex beds, though. Have you heard about?
No. But think about it. If you're in week two, though, you're
preparing for your thing. Yeah,
you just keep training that whole first week, and then do your thing. Then closing ceremonies, you're gone. Yeah. I definitely would want to be in week one.
Yeah. What are these anti-sex?
Yes, back to the anti-sex. I'm pretty sure that's every bit I'm in.
Wait, hold on. Have you guys heard about how much sex goes on at the Olympic Village?
Yes, tons and tons and tons.
They bought like over 100,000 condoms for everybody.
That's because it's all sexy, incredibly well-built people.
Right. They're all in their 20s.
And they just, they just went through probably the most stressful time of their life, and they want to blow off some steam, and what better way to do it? There's one.
That's why I want to be week one, baby.
Well, so
I'll be blowing steam all over that Olympic Village.
The beds are supposed to be made of cardboard, so if you rock them too much, they collapse.
I think that's just cheap French engineering.
Yeah, exactly. These are the anti-sex beds.
Listen, we have to. They can make the sex on the floor. They can make the sex on the floor. We have to save somewhere. We spend so much on the river.
Some other things that are kind of going viral from the Olympics. There was some female athlete who twerked after her event.
Yeah. What was it? Was that gymnastics?
Alicia Newman.
Oh, and OnlyFans star.
Oh, hey now.
Greg just put on his glasses.
Well, it's on the screen now. Let me see this. Let me see this OnlyFans star. Let's see if she's one that only has a fan.
No, she's
got a lot of fans.
She's smoking.
Okay, let's see it. That's what I'm saying. Week one, baby. You don't want to be in week two.
My computer's kind of freezing up here.
Can you imagine you trying to keep it together, and people are just going nuts on cardboard beds next door, and you're just in there going, "I just got to get straight eight."
It sounds like they could have used the cardboard beds at the comedy condo in Tucson.
Absolutely. This guy over here,
Tony Bones.
It was New Year's Eve. It was a New Year's Eve show. Come on.
And he was.
Here she is.
He welcomed in the new year with a bang. I mean, and they were, like when someone else could probably hear you in the other room, and you're kind of like, shh. Oh my God.
It wasn't that.
It was not that. It was. And I'm like,
it sounds like the time that Forrest Gump's mother got it on with the principal.
It was like that. It was worse. Trust me.
Wait. Oh, there it
is. Let's go again.
My computer's going haywire.
Coverage to service. Get more with Geico.
I believe you did that stunt.
The cartwheel at the end.
Can I tell you, I honestly don't know if that's me or him because I originally did it myself. And then
they had him do it.
Because they were like, do something. We were trying to figure out the button to the piece, and we tried a bunch of them. And then I was like, wait, let me try this. And it was supposed to look dumb, like this terrible roll. And so I was like, I'm just going to go jump the cone.
Nice.
I'm not going to do what he does. So I ran, and I jumped it, and I rolled, and it's very hard concrete. and so I get up, and they're like, that's great. Let's do one more. I'm like, I think that's the only one I got to make. And they were like, all right, Corbin, come back in. And then Corbin did it. So I'm really not sure which one of us you're seeing there, but I think you are seeing Corbin's version.
By the way, here is the Canadian pole vaulter.
I hope she is.
Who tweaked,
oh my God.
Or twerked, rather, after her event.
And OnlyFans. Can I say,
I think she's adorable. I mean,
she's very beautiful.
Yeah, right.
I've never related.
Like Rebecca Romaine.
I've never related to a sport more than pole vaulting after this year.
Why?
Because the guy's
because
dong.
the guy's dong.
Yeah,
that
man.
way.
If I had a nickel.
You have a nickel?
I'd be a nickel.
Did it say that she's an OnlyFans or an influencer?
I saw OnlyFans model at the top of the piece.
She could definitely pull it off, but anyway, that's people are talking about the Olympic twerking. Which, why not? Breakdancing can be a sport. Maybe twerking can be a sport.
Yeah. I tell you what, artistic swim dance girls.
Right.
Oh, man, with their moonwalk move.
That was so cool.
That was incredible.
And then they got silver. I'm like, come on, what are you gonna do?
They moonwalked under the water.
I mean, come on.
What's that called? Synchronized swimming? Or
Well, I think now they call it artistic swimming.
Right.
Or synchronized artistic swimming.
Yeah.
Something like
it's
that.
synchronized swimming.
Do you remember?
But it is synchronized swimming, yes.
Do you remember
the sketch?
A famous Saturday Night Live sketch?
Absolutely.
And it's got Martin Short and Harry Shearer.
Harry Shearer, yes, it's Harry Shearer.
And they're like training to be synchronized swimmers, except we know
they
that
can't swim.
We know, we've had some challenges, and then Martin Short goes, "I can't swim."
So they're just in shallow water splashing.
It's one of the funniest Saturday Night Live bits of all time.
All right, folks. Welcome to the Olympian Strip Club, where the hottest OnlyFans Olympians are ready to shake it for you. That's right, turn your attention to the main stage for the Russian javelin thrower. Yep, she's twerking and shaking and throwing that javelin straight at your hearts. And oh wait, she just pulled the pole out of the ground and she's literally throwing it like a javelin. Nice move, sweetie. A perfect 10. All right, next up, coming to the main stage, the Brazilian steeplechaser. She's shaking that thing and running around in a circle in the nude. I have no idea what the steeplechase even is, but I sure do love what I'm seeing. But remember, no touching. It's another gold medal night here at the Olympian Strip Club.
Find out what's going on. Quirky facts about our region. Urgent things you need to know impacting your drive. And of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
Keep it fun. Play responsibly. Need help? Call 1-800-572-1142.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
All right, let me give you all the details about the shows on Saturday for the El Paso Municipal Police Officers Association Scholarship Fundraiser. Christopher Kid Reid, who's in the studio with us, is going to be headlining. George Jimenez, who's also in the studio. Joe Rosales, who's in the studio.
What's up, Buzz?
Who said that? Oh, George. Hey, George. How you doing, man?
Good.
That show is going to be tomorrow. There are going to be two shows at 7:30.
Saturday.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
What day do you think it is?
I thought it was
Not Saturday,
Thursday.
tomorrow.
I thought it was Thursday.
Sábado gigante.
I'm still stuck on Thursday.
And that is at the Police Officers Memorial Hall at 3601 Ruther Glen. Two shows, so go out and see Chris Reid. Chris, it has been a while, but it's great to see you, man.
Buzzy Buzz, what's good? What's good, El Paso?
I always make a note whenever Bill Maher drops your name on his show.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he do that sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes.
You know, he's still. We're still good friends.
Real
what I'm saying?
tight.
Yeah, he's actually the reason, a big reason why I got into stand up.
So, he urged me to do it. He put me on the Oprah Winfrey show. And, we kind of went from there. But, yeah, he's good. Yeah, he dropped my name once in a while.
I think he was talking. He said anything that has to do with African American issues, I get from my friend Chris and Mike, meaning Killer Mike.
Killer, yeah, right, yeah, Killer, yeah. Yeah, as long as he stops trying to remix the theme song that we wrote for him, then, we'll be fine.
Is that the theme song they're using on the show currently?
Yeah. I mean, we wrote the original, but from time to time, he'll have somebody do their take on it, and I'm like, remember New Coke? Hey, I wrote that too. All right. No, but I remember we used to get biz back in the days, man. You always showed us love. We would come and play the comic strip with George and Billy D. But
Billy D. Washington, that's right.
Man, shout out to Billy D.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How does this just seem so long ago to you, or does it seem like yesterday?
Sometimes you look at stuff like that, listen to it, or look at the videos, and you're just like, who was that dude? That's like, I just turned 60, bro. So I'm like, I don't know who that. Sometimes it's hard to remember who that guy was. But
you're the same age as the vice president that Kamala picked. Can you believe that?
Yeah, unfortunately.
That dude looks like my dad. Like he could be my dad. He's only like 3 years older than I am.
And they got a good name for him. Everybody calls him Coach. You know what I'm saying? Coach, yeah, Coach Walls. So, the stuff is crazy. You know what I mean? 3 weeks ago, things was looking completely different. Now everything is looking like, everything is looking bubbly right now. So,
you know what? It's almost like being in the middle of a board game. It's not going your way, so you just flip the board over.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we're hitting the reset button.
Yeah. You're losing that backgammon, and you just like tosses stuff.
And the former president is complaining about it. It's not fair that you switched up the candidates on me.
Yeah, they haven't quite got their footing yet. You know what I mean, with this new opponent. So we'll have to see what's going on. Right now, it looks like he's kind of melting right now. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: I was so pleased when George rolled up and asked me to be a part of this event that we're doing on Saturday, and the fact that the police is involved, and the fact that they're doing these charities where they're helping kids get their education and get scholarships and stuff like that. So, that's what we call partying for a purpose. And so that's why, I'm glad to be down with that.
Yep.
And if you happen to see us at Hooters or at
Bucks,
the strip club formerly known as Jaguars. You always asking about Jaguars. They said, George's like, yo, they closed that. I was like, oh, man.
It's a Spirit now.
It's a Spirit Halloween store.
Right? So, but honestly, El Paso's been a great time for me. The people are so wonderful, and the fact that if I was coming here to do the comic strip, or coming here to do this event, or coming here to do Ray Mickens' event back in the
golf tournament,
yeah.
God, that was a great tournament.
Yeah, I would always make myself available, because the people of El Paso, they're worth it. So come out tomorrow night. See El Niño. Me llamo Niño.
Is that George?
No, that's me. That's
the kid. Right, I'm sorry. It went right over my... I'm sorry.
Come on, I've been watching Spanish television all week. I'm ready.
It's like, you're a hurricane?
El Niño.
So George told me you do a podcast with Play.
Yeah. We have our podcast is available. It's called The Fun House. The Fun House podcast with Kid and Play. It's available on all streaming podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Urban One, and we're having a good time with it. We're interviewing people. Sometimes it's just me and him just talking to each other and kind of reminiscing and talking about how we came up in New York and everything like that. So we're having a great time. So yeah, if you guys are into the podcast, check out our joint. It's called The Fun House with Kid and Play.
All right. What else is going on?
What else is going? Well, you know what? And we're doing shows all the time now.
You and Play?
Yeah, playing myself. Yeah.
Can you still do the thing where you take your leg and jump it like it's a jump rope?
No, can't do that. No, I only do that in a pool now. You know?
Prove it.
Yeah, that way nobody gets hurt. I can do it in a pool, but I can. But now, man, we still doing shows. We've been on this I Love the '90s tour, which has been going on for like about 10 years now.
Is that a package show?
Yeah,
or
that's Vanilla Ice. It's Young MC. It's Tone Loc. It's Rob Bass. It's the Who the Hell is Still Alive tour.
And you guys all knew each other back in the day, probably.
We did. And now back in those days, it was kind of competitive. You know what I mean? These days, it's not at all. We're just happy. Oh my God, Coolio. Tone Loc. Are we gonna smoke? Let's do it. Mm-hmm. So it's like the tour is sponsored by Depends, Icy Hot, and Oxygen. Not the network. It's actually Oxygen on the side of the stage.
I asked Greg Wilson. You guys saw each other. He was going out and you were coming in. He said you were on the same flight together coming in from LA.
We were. We happened to be on the same flight.
So he had nothing but nice things to say about you.
Oh, no. Greg's a good dude, man. Greg, a matter of fact, I had saw Greg like maybe the week before at this comedy club in Los Angeles. So, yeah, in LA, you just kind of run across each other from time to time. And Greg's always been a good dude.
I mean, it's a
super funny.
City of 5 million, but you still run across people every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, and especially in the comedy game, you know what I mean?
Do you stay in L.A. for the most part? Is that where you're based out of?
Yeah.
I should have called you. I went to L.A. for a week with my daughter to tour college campuses and stuff.
Oh, but guess what? Make sure if you have to come. Is she going to school in California?
She's a senior this year, so she's still making up her mind. But they booked us a place, and it was in Hollywood. And I thought, well, that's nice. But it was like the end of Hollywood that is not.
Was it look sketchy? A little sketchy?
A little sketchy. The other part of Hollywood Boulevard is a tourist, the Chinese theater and everything. That's just tourists. This is like not that many tourists, but plenty of interesting people walking around.
Yeah, no question. See, I actually live in West Hollywood. That's like the artsy fartsy, that's like the gay part of town.
Yeah. West Hollywood is known as it's a huge gay enclave. That's the only way to say it.
No question about it. No question about it. When I walk with my girl, she says, "Hold my hand," and I hold it up in the air.
Yeah.
I'm with her.
So many people dog L.A. I'm the only person. I love L.A., man.
I love
LA.
Like
the Gary Newman song.
No, I love LA. I've been there since '98, and it's very expensive.
It is very expensive,
but you know what?
Gas is twice as much.
Crazy.
Almost.
It's crazy. But you know what? You see the sun almost every single day, and I'm one of those people. Like I feel like, and I grew up in New York, which is the darkest, dullest, most,
Well, it's one of the most famous, glamorous cities in the world,
but it's a very dark, gray city.
It is.
You know what I mean?
My problem with New York, not a problem, but when I visit, after a few days, I start feeling cramped, almost like you're in New York and the buildings are so high that you look up and you just see a little circle. Yeah. You feel like you're indoors the entire time you're in Manhattan anyway.
No question. And when you're walking in the street, you better walk fast. An 80-year-old grandmother will run you over, will elbow you to the curb.
I love that in New York.
Isn't it amazing?
You like that?
I love that.
Yeah. The energy.
You can't pass on. People don't know how to walk.
No, you can't beat the energy. You're right about that. The energy is crazy. But
people let you know, if you're not walking fast enough or you stop in front of the door, they will let you know. You got to keep moving.
Right. Yeah,
there's a lot of people that want to get by.
You got to keep moving. No, but you know what? I'm glad that I grew up in New York, but I'm glad I live in LA now as an older person because like I said, you get to see the sun every day. You kind of it's
summer,
a more laid back vibe.
So I was there the week of 4th of July.
Okay,
and maybe it's 95 degrees, but there's like some kind of little breeze in the air that makes it not so intolerable.
No,
it's really
it's cool.
It's really nice.
It's cool, man. Yeah, next time you come, if you're gonna come out there, give me a heads up, man. I'll take you around.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? We hang out at cool places. No drama. No drama. What's up, Buzz? Buzz used to have a female counterpart.
Well, Joanna is my female counterpart, but she's running. There's Joanna right over there. Hi. Say hi to Chris.
Hello.
Say hi to Chris.
How you doing, Joe?
That's Joanna.
Joanna.
Oh, yeah. He knows.
I love you. You don't never play that song for
Is that the Commodores?
Cool in the Gang, man.
I'm sorry. Cool in the Gang. My bad.
You're supposed to play that every time you throw it to her, man.
We should do that. You know what? That's a great idea.
Come on, man.
Nico, make a note.
Pull that
play
up.
the
Pull that up, Joanna. You don't remember that song, Buzz?
Yeah, I mean, it was not really my. It was a little before my time.
What?
Cool in the gang?
No, it was not before
I was a
your
little
time.
kid.
Not before your time. No.
He said, nah.
Nah, remember it was that. Hey. Yeah, they got a video and the girl is she's a waitress in a diner.
I was named after the song.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Hey. Right? You were conceived? You conceived to this song, Joanna?
I was also named after this song.
Joanna!
What?
You missed the beginning where they say Joanna.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, you got to get the hook.
See what you
Now
started?
you gotta wait till the hook.
Right. Buzz's audience is like, what the hell is he playing?
I don't think I've ever heard this song in my life.
Oh my God.
Oh, no. This is a great song.
Oh God!
It's so simple.
Did they do Hollywood Nights or Hollywood
Swinging?
Hollywood Swinging, right?
Hollywood Swinging. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah! I used to hear this on the radio all the time when I was a kid.
You know
when I was
this
a little
song,
kid.
When you're a kid.
Do you know we didn't really listen to any kind of pop music when I was a kid?
What were you listening to? Slayer? What were you doing?
My
Megadeth?
gospel music.
Really?
Yes. It was all very church oriented.
Randy Travis? Was that on the playlist?
No, it was kind of old, like a little older than Statler Brothers, maybe.
Oh my God. Hold up. Can we discuss my good friend George Jimenez? Can we discuss his obsession with Dierks Bentley right now? Huh?
I'm just a country fan. That's all, man.
Oh, I'm a country fan. Not
guy,
every single thing, but I like what I like.
It sounds like he's been stalking Dirk Bentley.
You would have to tell me
how many times you saw him again.
Who is Dirk Bentley?
8 times.
He's seen Dirks. What's his name?
Yeah,
Dirks.
Dierks Bentley. Yeah, 8 times.
Dierks Bentley. Big. He's a big country artist, right?
Yeah,
From a
I'm
distance?
gonna go see him August 31st in Albuquerque. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Anytime he's around, you go and see it.
He's showing up in laundry carts.
And when did he come out? Like in the 90s?
Yeah, no, probably early 2000s. But yeah, I'll be seeing him August 31st in Albuquerque. So, if anybody wants to go.
All right, let's take
the Kirky.
how are we doing on breaks for the next hour, Joanna?
Pretty good.
Joanna.
I love you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back more with George Jimenez, Chris Kid Reid, of course, who's the headliner for the benefit for the El Paso Municipal Police Officers Association. I saw there he is. Sergeant Vela walked in just a few minutes ago.
Sarge.
Good morning, everybody.
That is tomorrow with 2 shows. Tomorrow, Saturday, George, and it's going to be 7:30 and 9:30.
7:30, 9:30. We still have tickets available for both shows. We'll be giving some tickets away today.
Now, if you're worried that, it's the police show, they're not going to have a bar or anything, they're going to have a bar.
No, absolutely.
George, is there a website for tickets, or can people just get in the door?
Yes, there's Joe.
There's also, if you search Borderland 100 on Facebook, they created an event, and it's called the Code 3 Comedy Show. And there's a link there where you can go and purchase tickets for Will Call.
Okay. And that give me the website again?
It's on Facebook.
Oh,
it's
on Facebook.
under Borderland 100.
Got it.
That's who created the event for Code 3 Comedy Show.
Borderland
100.
All right. We're going to come back, talk more with Chris and the entire entourage. You ever been in the company of so many police officers at one time before?
Yes. When I caught my DUI back in the day.
There were a lot of cops around.
Oh, that's a great story. We'll be back with my DUI story.
All right,
right
after this.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5.
Restaurant, 60 East across from the Cielo Vista Mall, and our new location at 1499 Lee Trevino.
I want you to hear what this fool is saying.
And now, the big mouth of the border.
This is a whole other level. Whole other level of insane.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show is back.
Joanna.
Oh, wow.
A little pitchy.
He's on it now, right?
Yeah, it's catchy.
Nice.
Chris Kid Reid is here. He's going to be headlining for the El Paso Municipal Police Officers Association tomorrow, and there are going to be 2 comedy shows with Chris, George Jimenez. I didn't mention Jibs.
Jibs is on the show.
Yeah,
and,
Jibs is on
and
the
Joe.
show, and Joe Rosales and George, of course.
Yes, and George, of course.
So I asked you off the air if you've been watching any of the Olympics, and you have, and you just reminded me. In 4 years, it's going to be in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We could probably go out and do the show from LA. I mean, it's 4 years down the road. Who knows what's going to happen?
God, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We should be so lucky, right?
What do you?
Well, you know what? This is the thing that I read this recently. They actually had some civic leaders. I think the mayor of Los Angeles went to Paris to kind of get some tips on how to run it. We haven't had the Olympics there since I believe it was '84. Yeah, and 84. it was a big success. But now I'm sure there's so many more challenges.
You weren't out in LA yet.
No. I was not. I was still in New York then. But just remember watching it. It was great. I mean, LA is a great place to.
Did they have breakdancing back then?
No, they did
not at the Olympics.
Like the U.S. had their dream team, Ozone and Turbo from Electric Boogaloo.
No, we did not have it. Wait, what's the other dude? He just passed away. Matter of fact, the Latin dude. He used to wear the hat. What was his name? Good Lord.
Wait, was this from a movie?
You don't remember the Breaking movies?
Breaking. Shabba-Doo. You remember Shabba-Doo?
Breaking 2.
Shabba-Doo was the Latin dude with the hat.
Shabba-Doo.
Shabba-Doo. Turbo was the black guy who used to dance with the broom. Mm-hmm. Remember that?
Who's the guy that danced on the ceiling? And you know what I mean? Like he went up on the roof. I think it was Turbo and Ozone.
Ozone. Yeah, probably Ozone.
Ozone.
Yeah, no, they didn't have breakdancing. They have breakdancing now, but it doesn't matter. Every 4 years they're gonna come up with a new. You know what I mean? Some new stuff. All right, I have some suggestions. Okay, they could do. I don't know, beatboxing. You could do beatboxing and thing. How about pimping? Hey, bitch! You know what I'm saying?
Where's my money?
You know what I'm saying?
I haven't seen it. It just started, I guess, a couple hours ago in Paris. So it's just one of the final events. The closing ceremonies on Sunday.
You look like a gymnastics guy.
They're closing. They're closing with breakdance.
Like what? That likes to watch gymnastics?
Yeah. Do you watch the gymnastics?
Yeah, I watch Simone Biles for sure.
Yeah,
and some of that is just
this is what people.
She's 4'8".
She's little.
Joanna said she's 4'8".
She's little. She's mad little.
That might be medically a dwarf, right? Or close to.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't know if people have ever been, because you watch these events, and I don't know if you've ever seen the balance beam. It's only 4 inches wide.
Oh, yeah, and they do flips on it and stuff.
I've tried to stand. You can't even stand on it. You know what I mean? Like, try to get up there and stand on it. I've tried it. It's you can barely stand on it. They got to jump, flip, land on it. It's.
They were talking about how they use their toes to grip, the side of the beam and everything.
Yeah.
What else have you seen?
What else have I seen? Obviously, we're watching the basketball.
Yeah. What a game! What a game yesterday.
That was a great game. Yeah, I was actually watching that on the plane. I was getting excited. That was good. We won.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose to Serbia.
Barely.
Serbia is probably the best team other than Team USA in the tournaments. Think of all the great Serbian players that have come out of there.
They got one good player.
Well, now, but they've had in the past. They've had a lot of great Serbian players.
And I heard you and Greg talking about this on our way over here. He's right. They play together all the time.
Yeah, right.
We get together, for a couple weeks, and we have the best players individually, player to player, but they don't play together. As much. So, so we're watching the basketball, gymnastics, track and field. I'm into the track and field. The running and the jumping and the javelining and
that Noah Lyles. It turns out he got a bronze yesterday in the 200, but it turns out he had tested positive for COVID. So they immediately after the race put him in a wheelchair and put a mask on.
Yeah, he
Meantime,
fell out.
they got the swimmers out there swimming in a river full of poop.
Yeah.
They're the ones who need the mask.
Poop and pee.
Like a Typhoid Mary.
That's right. You guys, that was a bit much. I mean, there's no way you could have moved that. You could have moved that somewhere else. There's no other body of water in France that you.
It doesn't even have to be in France. They had surfing.
Yeah.
All the surfing is in Tahiti.
You could have did that.
And also, what's going on? I remember when I was a kid, one of the things I knew about the Olympics, and I would watch the Olympics, I think, just about every year. But one of the things I knew is, they're amateurs. Nobody gets paid. They've got to be. That's
no.
all out the window.
They're all getting paid.
Everybody gets paid something.
Yeah, and guess what? I don't have a problem with that. I mean, they should have been getting paid to my,
I think same thing with the.
So when they go to commercial,
players.
when they go to commercial from the events, it's usually one of the athletes that you mentioned Noah Lyles. He's got a gang of commercials. Simone Biles, nobody got more commercials than her.
No, but I mean, there's a cash payout for medals. Sure. You know, you get
right. Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. I heard about it. Yeah, you get money.
And it depends on what country. Some of the countries, like kind of the poorer the country, the more you get.
Right. Right. If you're in the wrong country, you get 70,000 potatoes.
Do you think in 4 years you'll? So they said a lot of people in Paris got the hell out of town.
Sorry,
it's okay. They just left because they didn't want to deal with the crowds and stuff. Do you think you'll stick around and go to any of the Olympics when it's in Los Angeles in a few years?
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah, but you know what? Typically, the French people don't have the reputation for like being like nice, and you know what I mean. Anything you've ever heard about France is they don't like Americans.
I was told that, and I went to France, and my experience was exactly the opposite.
Okay.
I mean, they didn't fawn on you because you're American, but everybody was, to me, very nice. It was the opposite of what you're saying.
Okay. Well then, that's real. I have to listen to that because I've never been.
You've never been to France? I would have figured back in the Kid and Play days, you guys toured the world.
Yeah, we did like United Kingdom, like England and Wales and stuff like that. Asia. Yeah, we went to Japan. Japan was pretty cool.
See, I would have guessed you'd played Paris.
No, we never got there. And so if that was your experience, then that's real. But I guess, I don't know, sometimes they create that same kind of stereotype about Americans, like, the ugly American, traveling abroad.
Right.
And, but yeah, they would always say that about France. They were like, like if you didn't speak French, like
that's Dracula.
Okay, so you mentioned, Chris, earlier the last time you'd been in the company of so many police officers, and you were going to tell that story about the DUI.
Yeah, well, it was an unfortunate incident, but thankfully, it wasn't an accident. Nobody got hurt. But yeah, I caught a DUI. But the thing about it was, the police were very, very nice.
Was this in L.A. or
this is in Los Angeles, maybe about 10 years ago or something. And they could have took me to like this real funky jail, but they took me to like this kind of private one.
Really? Is it the celebrity jail?
I don't know what it was, but it was like it was really quiet.
I mean, was Corey Feldman in there?
No, he was not. Well, he could have been. I don't know, not to my knowledge. They didn't give me a tour, so I didn't see. Hey, Bobby Brown, how you doing? All right.
He actually never got a DWI. It was just some dudes dressed up as cops.
No, it was real. Yeah, when them cuffs clink, it was real. But they were really nice. They gave me my own cell. I wasn't around anybody else. They gave me a newspaper, a juice box.
Is that Todd Bridges?
Right. But the funnier part was, moving forward, I had a court date. You gotta follow up and you gotta go, figure out what it is you gotta do. And I missed the court date. Don't ask me how or why.
Oh boy, they probably don't take a dim view of that, I would imagine.
Right. So one day I was actually getting ready to go out on an audition, and I hear the doorbell ring, and I go outside, and usually that's about the time of day when you get like packages, like FedEx packages and stuff like that. So I look through the peephole, and there's like 3 people outside, and I'm like, wow, this is one hell of a package. I'm like, what's coming? And I open it up, and they're like, are you Christopher Reid? And I'm like, not so good. So they take me downstairs and put me in the back of the squad car, and being real nice. So there's 2 cops in the front, and there's one in the back with me, this Latin guy. And we're headed to the precinct, and I'm just kind of like, wow, what's going on? And that I can feel the cop next to me. He's like looking at me. So I look back at him, and he looks at me and says, "Hey, what happened to the hair?" And I'm like, bro, are you serious? Like, so we just started having a conversation,
How high was that hair? Like a foot?
I don't know. It was pretty high.
It was pretty high.
It was high enough that he remembered it. You know what I'm saying? So once again, they get me to the precinct. Everybody's real super nice. They let me use my own phone to call up somebody, to come pick me up. Then they chain you, they cuff you to a long bench. There's a bunch of us cuffed up and stuff.
I believe I've seen that on TV before.
Yeah, it's not, and then some of the police are coming out, they're fans. They're like, yo, kid, what happened? I was like, I understand. You know what I mean? They're being very sympathetic. They're nice. One of the cops comes up and says, hey, man, TMZ just called here. And they wanted to know, because apparently if you call a precinct and ask them if somebody, I don't know how it works here, but if you ask if is Christopher Reid here, they have to say, yes or no. They have to be honest.
They can't say that's privileged information.
No,
or we don't have
no,
to
apparently
they
not.
have to answer.
Apparently not. So now TMZ knows I'm here. Then there's some crazy guy at the end of the bench. It's like homeless dude. He's yelling and screaming, cussing and all this and that. So this is what I'm living through, right? So finally, the guy says, "Yo, you can go outside and make your phone call." And he unhooks me, and I walk outside, and I got to walk past this crazy guy, this nutty dude. And I walk by
Is
him.
Is he
and
involving you in his craziness? Or
man, he's just kind of yelling at everybody. He's yelling at the cops.
Well, you're from New York,
Yeah, exactly. So
it's not all that unusual.
Yeah, so
there.
I have to pass him by. I have to pass by him to get outside so I can make the phone call. And I come up on him, and he looks at me, and he goes, Paulie Shore?
What?
It was at that point I'm like, I got to get my life together, bro. I have fallen very far. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was cool. They were nice. They let me out, a couple hours later. And so, all right, so when I get outside, right, so TMZ is outside. They're waiting outside. They got a photographer. They got a cameraman, everything. And so I come outside, and they're like, yo, kid, what's going on? And I said, you know what? It's unfortunate. This was a clerical error. And I, a piece to the popo. Everybody treated me good, da-da-da. And what happened was, because it was like about 5, 6 o'clock. So I just wanted to have the last word of the day, because they were killing me. They were killing me on TMZ all day, throwing up things, throwing the mugshot, talking. So I just wanted to have the last word, even if it wasn't true. It wasn't a clerical error. I just missed the date. Yeah, I blew it off. And so, but that went out on social media. Kid, victim of clerical error. Blah, blah, blah.
That probably pissed off somebody. Right?
So all right. Last thing, guys. I had a comedy show that night at the Improv in Ontario, California.
Yeah.
So I get there. My boy scoops me up. We go out there. And so I tell the DJ, I said, yo, I'm getting ready to come out. I said, play Akon's Locked Up, okay, when I come out. And so, because by then everybody's heard about it, whatever. So he plays Locked Up. I come on stage. Everybody's going crazy. I don't even step to the mic right now. I'm back off. I'm off the mic. And they're playing the song, da 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 da. And I still got the plastic bracelet when you get arrested. I still had it on. So then, boom, then finally the music goes down, and then I walk up to the mic and I go, and how the F was your day? And so
Chris just summed up what every police station detention area is like. And
since we brought up TMZ, and earlier you brought up TMZ, so are you familiar with Wes Scantlin from the band Puddle of Mud?
No.
Okay, well, there's a band called Puddle of Mud.
Yes, I know Puddle of Mud, yes.
Yeah. He performed on Saturday in El Paso. On Wednesday of that week, he wouldn't get out of his car, and the cops had to call the SWAT team, and they fired more than pepper spray, like the pepper balls, whatever those are. They fired. Had anybody heard? He still showed up and did the show on Saturday, and I heard, and I don't have confirmation of this, that he got in a fight after that show at a convenience store because he went over there to get some cigarettes. He got in a fist fight.
Yes, dude. He's
you guys haven't heard. Maybe they didn't.
Oh, this is good. Yeah, ask one of them.
Yeah, right.
We heard from anonymous sources.
Yeah, anonymous
I haven't
sources.
heard anything. George, have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
Vela also hasn't.
It either it didn't happen, or it happened and nobody called the police about it.
Right.
But anyway, I just thought that's amazing. We could get some
Yeah.
TMZ juice for El Paso.
Yeah. I don't. It never got that deep. You know, like when you
Where they got to call the SWAT.
Yeah, man. You just do what they tell you to do, man. You know what I'm saying? It'll go better for you. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I got clipped that first time. What happened was a lot of times based on what you blow into the breathalyzer is how long you have to be kept, captive. You know what I mean? And I think I blew like 0.15, which is a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. And what happened was when there was a shift change at like 6 a.m, and this black lady came on. She was the boss. She was running it or whatever. I don't know, was that like the desk sergeant or whoever's running it at that time. And she said, "Look, based on what you blew, you're supposed to be here till like 2 in the afternoon." She said, "I'll let you go. I'll let you go right now. If you get somebody to come pick you up right now, I'll let you go right now at 6 a.m." And she didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She did it. Yeah. She was a fan or whatever. And she's nice. She's like, "Yo, man, just you get somebody to pick you up, I'll let you up out of here." So, I mean, my experience with police has always been positive. So
thank you, Chris.
And that's one of actually, bringing it back full circle. That's one of the reasons why, when George brought this to my attention, I wanted to do that. I was like, you know what, this is, and I love the city. I love El Paso. George is my homeboy. The fact that George became a police officer and then a detective is still mind-blowing to me.
I can remember if you told me George was going to be a police officer.
I'm telling you, man.
You might as well have told me Chris was going to be a police officer one day.
Is that right? We want to hear stories about George.
Oh, my God. You don't want to know.
I want to hear stories.
Nah,
But on that drinking and driving thing, isn't it funny how like all the public service announcements, like they make no sense? Like they have that one, like friends don't let friends drive drunk, and I'm like, who the hell do you think I'm drinking with? It's like with a bunch of strangers, and then one of my boys walks in and says, let me drive you home because I'm your friend. I'd be like, dude, if you were my friend, you would have bought a round. I'm going home with what's his name.
So let's talk about this show tomorrow. There are going to be two of them, one at 7:30 and second one at 9:30. At 9:30,
yeah,
and you can pay at the door when you get there. Is it a big,
just pull
is it
up,
a big
bro.
venue?
Huh?
What's that?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Is it a big?
It is
a big hall?
Yeah. It seats like 310. So we have a few tickets left.
Oh,
Sarge, we're like what, like in the 30s or 40s of tickets, maybe.
Yeah, we're starting to run low, and we expect about 50 people at the door. So.
Pull up. Just roll up on the set. You know what I mean? Roll up on the set.
It'll be a
great.
Good time. Somebody, maybe it was when you guys were here, but somebody had said this would be one of those great sting operations where they're giving away a boat. They get a bunch of people to come out. And it's just like everybody who had an outstanding award.
Right.
Hey, George, they're on to us.
Everybody that has a word in El Paso, right? Stand up and.
Hey, we're back.
How many people with warrants out? Huh?
Little did you know, Chris missed court again, and we just brought him over here.
Hey, right? They do. Hey, we're buying back guns. Come on.
All right. Thank you guys for coming in. I know you got a busy weekend ahead.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Of you, and everybody should go out and see Chris and all the fine comics that are going to be on stage.
7:30 and 9:30. Doors open at 6:30. You can call 333-4455.
I'm going to ask you to give that number again.
915-333-4455. It's a real number.
And if you do just want to roll up and roll the dice, hopefully they won't be sold out, but it's the Municipal Police Officers Memorial Hall at 3601 Rutherglen.
Yeah. So if you show up,
3601 Rutherglen.
We'll make room for you, even if it's in the back. Even if it's in the back of a patrol car.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
That's what's up, Buzz. Buzz, thank you so much for making time for us, man. You know what's up. We go way back.
Right on. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We got more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Just a few.
Joanna.
Right after this.
I'm Daniel Paulus, and whether you're wrapping up your workday,
We missed it.
some late round flyers. There's no better research than watching every play. Get to Twin Peaks for every game.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
What's that? No, I'm trying to update all of my.
What's going on over there?
Buzz is leaving the music on, and he's just looking at his text message.
Oh, some workmen showed up at my house, and I had to give some instructions because they were about to leave. It's that busted water heater thing again. It didn't bust again, but it's they haven't taken out all the
moisture yet.
No, they've apparently got all the moisture out, but they got to replace the flooring
and the paneling and everything like that.
So, 5 Points guy, right?
Yeah, love him.
I've got to find this, but 5 Points guy dubbed Alberto's laugh into his AI Kamala Harris character. So,
that's funny.
But I got this from 5 Points. 5 Points guy, I hope you're listening, because I'm not great at getting back to text, so... God, if I could only handle all my texts this way.
It was just funny that you have
if you send me a text, I'm not going to reply to the text, but I'll talk about it on the air maybe. Steve Kaplowitz is here too, by the way. Morning, Cappy.
Morning, everybody. Hi, 5 Points guy.
Hey, Buzz, it's 5 Points guy. Did you go to PF Chang's today for lunch? I did. I went with your brother.
Oh, nice.
To lunch.
Thanks for the invite, by the way.
I asked because my wife thinks she was your server today. It was either you or Bart Reid for sure. With 5 Points guy. Then he said again, it was you, buddy. I showed my wife a recent pic of you on Instagram, and she says it was you for sure. Your voice gave it away. Also, you and your guest were very polite, courteous. Well, I was the guest because Maddie Kaplowitz picked up the tab. So, and she was a great waitress. She was really, really good.
I'm going to have to go to P.F. Chang's then to meet the wife finally.
Yeah.
Derek Terry sent an email.
Who knows what it's going to be?
It's a picture of me. It's one of my headshots, and he drew in Christopher Kid Reid's hair on top of mine. And I want to bring that up because Chris Reid. First of all, I'm wearing the headphones that Chris Reid just wore.
I thought you had met.
I have never met
before.
Kid before, but the settings for the headphones were out here, dude. Look.
All the way?
Wait, like he's got a big head?
Kind of.
He was wearing them like this.
Well, I was thinking maybe it's because he's used to having such a high hair.
A high top.
A high top that the headphones need to fit over all of it.
Dude, that is the worst Photoshop I've ever seen.
Even added your widow's peak.
He did have the widow's peak.
Were you excited to meet him?
Yes. Yeah. I saw the house party 1 through 2, not the full 5.
Not all 5 of them. Let me tell you,
and
Chris,
really nice.
Chris is a super, super talented guy. He's a comic now, but as a dancer.
Yeah.
A dancer, God, boy, could he and play move.
Oh, yeah.
And as a singer, he's a good actor, all those house party movies. I was going to ask him if he and play, because I didn't see this, but they remade House Party, but they made it like somebody was having a party at LeBron James's house when he was out of town. Did anybody see that movie?
What, is this like the Space Jam 2024 version?
It is yet another example of why LeBron James, as great as he is, should not be allowed to go anywhere near a movie set. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see it.
Hey.
I tried to watch Space Jam, and it was one of the worst I've ever seen.
The second one you're talking about.
The one that LeBron was in, yeah.
My son
The
thought
first
that was,
one was great.
My son thought that was the coolest movie, the second Space Jam. He was 9 at the time, and he thought that was great. I was like, this is the perfect age demo. 9-year-olds. So that's exactly.
You know what, though? But that was probably the age demo for the one Jordan was in.
Yeah.
I loved Space Jam. I loved everything about that.
Did you?
Yes.
You say you hate animated things.
Space Jam was only partially animated. The cartoon characters and the Monstars were animated.
I know why you like the original Space Jam. Because it was kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And,
there you go.
And Who Framed Roger Rabbit is one of the great movies of the, the 90s?
Well, and Buzz will tell you that he has the psychology of Roger Rabbit.
Right. So Roger Rabbit kind of explained to Eddie, the detective.
I hate how this is a formative movie for you.
Yeah. That I'm a toon. I have to do whatever's funniest in the moment. And I'm like, yeah.
That is Buzz. That sums up Buzz.
If there's a funny thing I could say or an extremely funny thing I could say, I'm going to go for the extremely funny thing.
No matter how hurtful, inappropriate,
Remember,
out of place.
It was in Judge Doom was going around, shave and hair cut. And the director,
2 bits! 2 bits! Okay, I know Cappy's in, and we're going to talk about sports because that's
we
his thing.
don't have to. It's fine. Whatever you want to talk
Buzz, based on all of our app chat messages and people and the fan chat as well, they've already started talking about the spoilers in the fan chat. In the app chat, if we do not talk about spoilers, we will get riots by people.
Wait. I thought if we did do spoilers.
No, people really want to talk about the spoilers now.
For which movie?
Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but my son said it's great.
Well, do you mind spoilers?
No, I don't care.
Here it
I
comes.
was busy trying to watch the breaking on the Olympics.
You know what's funny,
They're
though?
not showing it on this channel.
We got to get a remote control for this TV because we can't move it off the channel that it's currently
I
on.
think you could use any remote.
Why don't you use the Bite remote
Yeah,
that I have
use
in
the
my
bitten one.
Yeah, there you go. You can do that. And by the way, I've been my son gave me the whole story behind Deadpool, and it's a filthy movie. I still can't believe my wife took him to that movie.
Your wife took him?
She did, and she took him and a buddy, and I'm like, wow.
Wait, the more you found out about, the more surprised and shocked you were, kind of?
Well, I never saw the first two.
Oh, yeah.
So I just knew they were filthy, and you know, and he's been wanting to go. So she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna all go." I'm like, "Okay, have a great time. Let me know how it is afterwards." And yes, I heard all about it.
Oh, 5 Points must have been listening. Hey, 5 Points guy, I'm glad you caught all that.
Good morning, Buzz and Joanna. This is Vice President Kamala Harris calling in. My ears have been ringing all morning.
Okay, so I guess what he's doing is replacing Alberto's girly laugh with Kamala's, Kamala
crazy laugh, yeah.
And it's not from the 3 bottles of Chardonnay I drank last night. Also, I did not convict thousands of people for petty marijuana charges. I convicted like 50. At least we actually convict people here in California, unlike Ivan Yosales. Also, Nico should be arrested for always calling in and leaving you guys in a real pickle. Ha 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 ha.
You see, the AI hasn't mastered people's laugh. Like if you type in have Kamala Harris or Donald Trump say laugh, it's going to I wonder if there's any, I don't know, 5 Points guy is the whiz at that. So
You actually refer to her as Kamala, like the Ugandan giant.
No,
that
I
was very
said
popular.
Kamala.
Well, first I heard you say Kamala, then you replaced it. Yes, but remember, Kamala the Ugandan giant in the 1980s
wasn't even from Africa.
No,
it turned out he was like from Missouri.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right. There was a guy, and his thing was he was a big dude, huge man.
Wrestled barefoot.
He probably must have barefoot. He must have gone close to 400 pounds. Probably.
Oh, I would say, without a doubt.
Probably 6'8".
Was the Iron Sheik really a terrorist?
The Iron Sheik was actually Iranian.
That's true. That is true.
He was an Olympian, in fact.
Yes. Kamala was not from Uganda. He was from the States. And although he did have a really cool moon painted on his stomach.
Oh, yeah.
So then he would just like slap it before he was getting ready to splash somebody.
I remember when I used to just take everybody's bio at face value in wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
General Skandar Akbar. Yeah.
General Skandar Akbar. Who was a sheik who somehow had an Oklahoma accent. I don't know how, but he did.
So how are we going to do spoilers?
I'm going to let Joanna get hers because she's the one who insisted.
Yes.
That we do spoilers.
I just got another message that says, yes, we will riot. So
if we don't do it?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, I'll start off.
Spoilers. Okay. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
All right. So here's how Deadpool and Wolverine is like the Rudolph Christmas special.
Okay.
So there's a lot of the movie is spent in a pocket universe.
Okay.
I call it that. They don't call it that in the movie, but it's where all the Marvel characters from previous movies had been sent for some reason. I was a little unclear on that. So that's why in one scene they have all those Deadpool show up, right?
Okay, so I guess
and the cameo.
Wait,
so
Lokis?
Yeah, kind of like the Lokis.
You just gave the first spoiler. So you're saying there's many different Deadpools.
I think everybody knows that because there was a big rumor that Taylor Swift was going to be Lady Deadpool. She wasn't, by the way.
Is there Lady Deadpool, though?
Yes, and it's played by Blake Lively.
Oh!
But she's got the mask on the entire time, so you'll recognize
you don't know it's her. But also, there's a kid Deadpool, and that's his daughter. And then there's a baby Deadpool, and it's his baby.
No way!
God, that's the one I've been wanting to talk about.
That one's super cool.
So anyway...
It's his family.
When he goes to this pocket universe, it's like the Rudolph special because it's basically the island of misfit toys except for superheroes.
all the discarded.
Yes, it's like all the superheroes that didn't fit into the universe.
The trash, the top of the trash.
Like this one, which
No children want to watch us anymore.
This one that became my favorite. Oh, wait, I don't have my audio up.
How long I've been waiting for this. Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I don't think you guys walk away from this.
You just make sure people know what happened here today.
Gambit.
All right.
That's Channing Tatum as Gambit, which
I know Gambit showed up in a movie, but it wasn't. No,
they
Gambit
haven't made a movie about him yet.
No, but he showed up in one of the X-Men. I swear to God.
He showed up in the movie Wolverine, which had the first Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds Deadpool in it, where they played the Task Force X, and there was a Gambit in that.
But it wasn't Channing Tatum.
It was not
right?
Channing Tatum.
Oh, okay.
But then Jennifer Garner, who was Elektra in the Deadpool movie with Ben Affleck.
I think that one had already been mentioned before the movie came out that, she was coming back for that.
Okay, here's the thing that I just found out. So if you're a fan of the comic books, there's different Wolverine storylines, like when he's Weapon X and when he's like on a cross and this and that.
When he's in Japan, there's a whole long stretch where he's in Japan.
And then the original Wolverine is supposed to be like 5 foot or 4 foot.
That was great. So so Deadpool's got to find a Wolverine from an alternate universe.
And do they show all these different ones?
They show a bunch of different ones.
Deadpool that died in Logan is the anchor beam for his timeline, and he died
in Logan.
So he's all like, no, the what's that agency called?
The
Time Variant
TVA.
Authority. Yeah.
They're like, we're just going to get rid of your entire timeline.
Yeah, we're going to eliminate your timeline.
But we're saving you because you're special. But he doesn't want his whole timeline to be erased. So he goes to find another Wolverine.
He goes in, he sees Wolverine sitting at the bar. It's Hugh Jackman sitting at the bar, and he jumps down from his bar stool, and you see that he's like 5 foot tall.
He's tiny.
Which is kind of his character in the comic books.
He would have been that tall.
Right. I don't know how tall he was supposed to be, but they always made cracks about how diminutive Wolverine was. Well, Hugh Jackman's 6'2".
Yeah.
So they had to miniaturize him,
to make him smaller.
They had a couple of different actors, I guess, who had been rumored to maybe replace Wolverine show up. So Henry Cavill.
Oh, wow.
Shows up as a Wolverine. And then there was one.
Oh, thank you, Mewtwo. It was Wolverine Origins where Gambit, the first Gambit shows up.
That was the one with Liev Schreiber, right?
Yes.
So not the one with Deadpool in it.
Deadpool's in that one, too.
Wait, I'm confused.
No. Yeah.
So
Ryan Reynolds
plays a version of Deadpool in a 2009 movie called Wolverine Origins.
I was watching it because he's on that task force, but he's supposed to. I only was like 45 minutes in, and then he gets killed.
Right,
and
at the very beginning.
Oh, so then he comes back later as Deadpool?
Well, what they did is they kind of bastardized him and the character a lot, and Ryan Reynolds thinks it's like the worst version of Deadpool they ever could have made.
Was he wearing at least a costume?
Nope, no costume. He was just he was Wade Wilson. I don't think they even called him.
It was Project Deadpool.
Project Deadpool.
Okay.
Yeah. But also Deadpool, fans love Deadpool because of the funny stuff he says.
He's
Ryan
the
Reynolds,
merc with the mouth.
Yeah, the merc with the mouth. They sewed his mouth shut halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
Like
in that Origins one.
In the Origins one.
All right.
I'm sorry for spoilers from 2009, but this is all getting around to something.
We were watching that. We'll have to watch the rest of that this week.
Oh, so have you and your son been going back through the movies now and kind of going?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
I didn't know if I would allow him to watch Deadpool 1, but you guys have said that if he's seen the new one, then the first two you might as well just let him watch.
Now, dude. Might as well.
How is the Deadpool Christmas special?
I never saw a Deadpool Christmas special.
Yeah, there's a Deadpool.
I've never heard of that.
Okay.
With Ryan Reynolds?
Yes.
I honestly have never heard of that.
I'm not super
And I
familiar with
watched
it.
the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
That's a good one.
The Guardians Christmas special was excellent.
Okay, so
Yeah,
what
Once Upon a Deadpool.
what are the dirty what are the dirty jokes lines and what is the inappropriate content they make?
Nonstop and not enough time to, if I had the rest of the day, I couldn't tell you.
Do they
It's
make
just
drug
one-
jokes?
Yes.
A lot of cocaine jokes.
Cocaine jokes with the blind friend?
Yeah,
Yes.
with that Blind Al.
Blind Al.
Leslie Uggams.
A lot of F words.
Not a record, but close to it.
Okay.
The most profane character is played by Chris Evans.
Oh, yeah.
He
hilarious.
absolutely says
some messed up stuff.
The most messed up stuff, which is hilarious because, remember Captain America?
Yeah, good boy.
Right. Oops, Steve said a swear, you guys.
Yeah.
Language,
He
and
plays Johnny Storm from the real failed Fantastic
I like
Four
how
franchise.
Nico hasn't even seen it.
I don't know. I wouldn't call it failed. They made a sequel.
So he plays himself in this movie. He plays Johnny Storm from the original X-Men.
Yes, but it's hilarious
Or from
because
the fourth
Deadpool thinks
Fantastic
it's Captain America.
And he's like,
that's funny.
Oh, he's going to
He's
say
like,
it.
anything
He's going to
for
say
you,
it.
Captain.
Avengers Assemble. And then,
then-
Johnny Storm goes, flame on. it's really, really nicely
That sounds
done.
fun.
So
We'll never know why Thor was crying. Is the running joke on it now?
Right?
Why
So
was Thor crying?
He goes in the TVA and it's showing a bank of TV screens with all these different timelines. And in one of them, Thor is holding Deadpool and weeping, and it's Chris Hemsworth.
Was it like he was holding Loki when Loki died in the original Avengers movies, and that's why they tried to make that happen?
And then they're all like,
Good
why?
catch,
That's
Cappy.
a good one, Steve.
I
Yeah.
haven't even seen the damn movie yet, but that makes sense
at how
because he was
you're-
crying in
you're
the Avengers.
connecting
look at
the
you,
dots,
a nerd
yeah.
expert.
Yeah. But that's probably it.
Steve is now a nerd with
they
us.
probably put Deadpool where Loki was, and when he started crying when he lost Loki, he's probably doing the same thing
And
for
the whole
Deadpool.
time he's all like, why is Thor crying?
Hey, went right over my head.
Okay.
It really did.
Yeah. that's a good
So
catch,
this
Steve.
this does sound really fun to watch. Is
it's a ton of fun.
Is it a good story?
It is actually, yeah.
Like the plot is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets into all these different. Basically, when you step back from it and say, all of these characters were there because that's who they still had the rights to use.
Yes.
Like when you get down to the nuts and bolts
Yeah.
of why all these cameos, it's like, do we still have the rights to Blade? We do.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, Ryan
Sony-
Reynolds called what's his name?
Wesley Snipes.
Marvel Daddy.
Did he?
Because none of this would have been possible if he hadn't made that movie.
Yeah,
Blade
good point.
came out before Spider-Man and before the first
Yes.
X-Men movie.
Which was owned by Sony Pictures, the rights and everything. And then they kind of brought them together for this.
Yeah,
for this
that's right.
everything.
It was very meta.
Does Iron Man show up in this?
No.
How about Loki?
No.
Does it set up a new movie or other stuff?
I don't know. It seemed to kind of wrap things up to me.
No, yeah.
I mean, I got the feeling they were maybe
I think
wrapping
the
things up.
director has gone on to say that this movie is not a direct continuation from Deadpool 1 and 2. It's like its own standalone.
Well,
so it's not considered Deadpool 3.
Because it could happen at any time.
Exactly.
I think it's kind of interesting that, though, they just take the characters that they have the rights to and whip them up into a stew. And that's the movie you get. And I'll be honest with you, it was enjoyable.
Well,
I
that's
would
good.
go. In fact, Joanna, if I talked about going to see it again in the theaters.
My son can't believe how jacked up Hugh Jackman is at his age right
At
now.
55 years old, can you believe?
Well, so famously, when he did X2, and they have that vat where he's supposed to come out with the adamantium claws, and he's like super shredded. It looks like just insane. Did they call back to that at all?
God, I don't remember. I don't think so.
Or when do they look at his physique and stuff? Is it a body double?
Oh, at the
No,
end.
it's him.
No, it's him.
I think it's him.
No, it's,
I mean-
it's all him. But there's this ending where like his costume rips off.
Jennifer Garner talks about how hard she worked to get in MCU shape.
Oh yeah, she shared a video on Instagram.
If you have a cameo, I wouldn't work that hard.
So,
I'd be like,
Well, it's like Thor when he had that beer belly after, when he was drinking all the time.
Fat Thor.
Yeah, Fat Thor.
Joanna wanted to mention that there's some kind of record for Wesley Snipes, or a couple of records actually for Wesley Snipes.
Right, I forgot about that.
Do you remember what the
most money given to the IRS after a
yeah, right.
Longest running MCU character, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, right. So Blade came out in late 90s, and now he's shows back up in 2024. That's the longest running. Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just got some confirmation. Thank you, Isaiah. The Christmas Deadpool special is just Deadpool 1, except it's PG-13 instead of rated R. And then Troy says, Once Upon a Deadpool is a remake of Deadpool 2 in the style of The Princess Bride.
What?
I didn't know they've been remaking those into different styles.
Are these official properties of Sony or
Good
Marvel?
question. I have no idea.
So what you're saying is I should let him watch the Christmas Deadpool?
Yeah, let him watch.
He already watched this one. You might as well just let him.
He hasn't Googled pegging yet, right?
No, but I'm sure him and his buddies are probably talking all about it.
What do you think
know
it
that?
is?
They're all like, here's what I think it is. Here's the question. How many Deadpools do you think we'll see this Halloween?
Oh, my God.
Because when
everywhere.
all those
Anybody
Deadpools
can be
came
Deadpool.
out-
You
yeah.
can be Lady Deadpool. You can be Fat Deadpool. You can be Kid Deadpool. There are going to be a bunch of Deadpools.
I'm surprised you, because we decided the Halloween theme, I guess, yesterday for KLAQ.
Yes,
we did.
What is it?
Are we releasing it now?
Oh, you guys haven't talked about it yet? You guys have just entirely
we
decided?
It's
agreed
one
on
Joanna and I have been wanting to do for years.
Buzz usually likes to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Until the week of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good, though, for people
Oh,
who...
I'm so excited for
Are you gonna be buying costumes on eBay like you normally have done in the past?
Maybe Buzz's.
No, I get serious when it's time to buy the costumes because I'm working on a budget.
I'm surprised Deadpool didn't come up in the conversation.
I almost wanted to, but I was like, we're going to probably see a bunch of Deadpools this year.
Somebody called in here about our Deadpool spoiler segment.
All right.
Nobody's complaining. Nobody's like losing their mind because we did it.
You're talking about the Deadpool.
Okay, never mind. Hey, Cappy, real quick. Cowboys are back with their first game on KLAQ this Sunday.
That's right, and I'm excited about this. Jerry Jones said yesterday that they are not close to a CeeDee Lamb contract extension, so he will not play in the game. He has not been to practice yet, and that's one of the big storylines for the Cowboys this year.
Do you know how old Jerry Jones is?
It's about 80.
81 years old.
Same age as Biden, maybe?
Older.
No, Biden's 81.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, both shouldn't be president of something.
Too old to be president of a major organization.
Yeah.
Well, on KLAQ, our broadcast starts with the pregame show at 1:30. Who does the pregame? Is it Brad and Babe? And
They check in with them, but there's a different crew hosting the pregame show.
Lisa, who's the sideline reporter?
Oh, Christy Scales.
Christy Scales,
She's
right.
fantastic.
Yeah, she is. She's so great. Regular season gets underway this Sunday with the
preseason.
Preseason gets underway with the Rams. The regular season is Sunday, September the 8th. Guys,
right around the
that's
corner.
less than a month away.
I know.
Yeah.
How about
the
this?
regular season? How about get rid of all but one preseason game and make them all legit games? How about that?
You want to hear something even crazier? We are 3 weeks away tomorrow from the UTEP football opener against Nebraska.
Oh, yeah?
It's right. And that's going to air here on KLAQ.
They're in Nebraska?
They're in Nebraska.
I'm
They're
so
in
sorry.
Lincoln.
I'm so sorry to interrupt like this, guys. Did we do the Ghost song today?
Yes, we did.
We did.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Just checking.
Yes.
Somebody asked.
We could repeat it, but I don't know if we have time for it.
I'm just saying. I just didn't know if we did.
Quickly.
Okay, so the Ghost Song of the Day is going to be in the 10 o'clock hour, so that means here in a few
Coming
minutes it could be playing. And it's a cover they did of the Eurythmic song called Missionary Man.
Yes.
That's a great song.
It's going to be in the 10 o'clock hour. Remember, at the end of the month, we have an autographed guitar, courtesy of Concord Records. It's autographed by Tobias Forge.
Fantastic.
Frontman of Ghost. And we're going to give that away at the end of the month. Call in and be caller 13 when you hear this.
I was born from original sin. And if I had $1 bill for all the things I've done, there'd be a mountain of money piled up to my chin.
All right, that's it. You need to listen to that. Listen for that. Be caller 13. You win the Ghost movie soundtrack right here, right now. And you're eligible. In fact, you got a really good shot. 1 in 22
That's
of
awesome.
winning the autographed guitar at the end of the month, during the month of August. All right, Cap, thanks for dropping by. Joanna, we're done?
We're done.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Woo! Make it a great one. Stay safe and join us back here on Monday. So long.
Well, that's it. Show's over.
What? We just started.
Yeah, well, the show's over.
That's the end.
That's not the end.
Why, yes, it is.
Right, that's the end.
And that's the end.
That's the end.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show will be back Monday morning.
Hello, everybody. It's so